Some of the captains there, some really familiar faces there. Obviously, number 6, Damien Malloy for the Gold Coast. I believe that is number 67, Cameron Trago, getting the call up to captain this year. As I find my correct updated Thunder team list. And yes, Cameron Trago, and the next to him, Liam Hunter. He's getting the opportunity to be captain as well after being a long-time stalwart in this game. And number 23, Mitchell Rigby, also getting the opportunity. And then some familiar faces from the Gold Coast. On the other side, we mentioned Malloy, but then you've also got the number 4, Reece Perkins, former DB of the year, James Taylor there, and of course Lance Tongakilo rounding him out.
Just an inside tip for those working at home. Lance will actually be starting at quarterback tonight for the Stingrays.
There it is, breaking news. Although I guess it shouldn't be too surprising. I guess a lot of people would have assumed Malloy would have taken the mantle, a former offensive MVP and Sun Bowl winning quarterback, multiple Sun Bowl winning quarterback. But for one reason or another, they're going with Lance Tongakilo, who did play much of the season last year, was supposed to just be a head coach, but of course that wasn't going to happen. Eventually, due to injuries, stepped in, and not only stepped in at quarterback, where he actually made a pretty good fist of things for someone who hadn't really properly trained there before. Obviously a more running style of quarterback, but he made a good fist of it.
Yeah, now he's had a full off-season where quarterback was always going to be his position. To give you an idea for those watching at home in terms of his playing style, he's very much like a Cam Newton type quarterback. Very, very big physical guy. Got an absolute howler of an arm on him. But yeah, he's not afraid not only to run the ball, but he will run over people too. So really excited to see what he does tonight.
Conversely, the story for the Griffith University men, well, it almost seems like there's been a little bit of a Sun Bowl hangover. A lot of veterans who were happy to call it quits after finding glory in November last year have been given the call up. Some of these guys have literally only hit training in the past fortnight. So a lot of talent out the field, but how prepared are they for season 2019?
That's right, and also, there are some key injuries already coming out of that first game, which certainly doesn't help. But as I said, talking to Tommy during the week, didn't give much away, but he's got a few sub-package things that he's installed this week that he thinks is exciting. And there's a couple of players that we'll point out throughout the broadcast that he's also excited to get involved as well.
Yes, sir. One player you will not be seeing as far as a player capacity, though, is his right-hand man in Garrett Griffiths, injured last week against the Ravens. Unable to participate in today's game. Arm still in a sling. Anywho, this game is taken over and it's in Tristan Back's hands. That's a dangerous move for the Stingrays, but the cover defense gets there. And that's Jonah Gardner, the second-year man, the rookie sensation for them last year, taking out Tristan Back, who is back from Snow College, had his 1 year there and has had some professional reasons back at home that's decided to call him back home, so he's happy to suit up for the Thunder for another year.
It's a pretty good reason for what Tommy was saying for him to come back, given his own entrepreneurial endeavours at the moment. So, look, he will certainly be a key part of the Thunder's game plan today on offense.
Well, last year, Sun Bowl MVP, getting ahead of myself there, with an amazing game. One of the best games I've seen as a DB, probably only matched by that of his opposite number 6, Damien Malloy for the Gold Coast Stingrays, in as far as Sun Bowl performances goes from a DB. And speaking of DB, Malloy's actually lined up at linebacker here, and that's a good stuff there for the Gold Coast Stingrays. Ryan Newton amongst the defenders, stopping that early.
Well, I actually noticed that Damien Malloy and Reece Perkins, both well established for their play as safeties, and in Reece's case at corner and earlier in his career, both now playing linebacker this year. Not going to cast any judgment about why that might be, but the people watching at home might be able to take a guess.
If you want to have a guess, why don't you let us know in the comments below. I'm sure the two lads will be happy to read about it later. Though it is worth noting, both became dads over the past 18 months. Or dads for the second time, or soon to be. Well, also at linebacker, number 16, Bailey Harding. He's at Mike Becker. This will be another run at Sean Darty.
Wow.
Starting running back from last year. They feed him the ball again. It's a short gain this time.
Stingrays front seven's held up well so far. I mean, granted, it's only been 2 players, but one of the matchup issues I think is going to be key throughout this game is the Rays front seven versus the Thunder's O-line. The Thunder's O-line's very, very big, very physical, loves to get downhill. But you have a look at the Stingrays O-line, fairly undersized, I guess. They are very athletic, very, very fast, particularly on the pass. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up against the run, though.
2 in the backfield, along with Darty, number 22, Cameron Smith. Not the Cameron Smith. as a long bomb here from Tommy Corwin tries to hit back. Unfortunately, off the fingertips for the Thunder fans, and that will be their first third down conversion failed, and they'll send on the punt team. It was back working on number 27, Josh McAlpine, from if my memory serves correctly, a former Rhino.
I believe you're right there. You might be testing me a bit on that one. A lot of my recomp work was done in the trenches.
You have no mind for the salad eaters, mate.
No, the skinnies don't really interest me that much. I got in trouble at a coaches conference saying that recently, but so.
In 2019, there is a flag on the field. One of the referees have failed to pick up their, or is that gloves?
I think they're gloves.
Oh, some banter we can't relay for you on screen, but those are not flags on the field. They are Tristan Back's gloves is back. Punts this away. It's actually going to be, it was an ugly punt, but it's actually going to turn out great. It was a line drive that bounced awkwardly for Napier.
Didn't want to know about it, did he?
Yeah, no. And this actually stopped inside the 10, so a nice inside 20 there for Back.
You see what Stingray's offense coming out now. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. Obviously, we said being led by Lance this year. He's had a full off season with them. Had a number of personnel changes. The running backs are still back, so we've still got James Taylor and Jonah there.
That's a very big backfield.
It's a very, very big backfield.
Gardner came in very raw, a friend of Lance Tongakilo from his league days, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Natural athlete, and he showed it. And after a half a season and a full preseason to prepare, I'd like to see how he turns out now. Currently at fullback, and it's a give to James Taylor. He's untouched for the first 10 yards and doesn't make contact till he's well past the sticks. A great first offensive play there for the Stingrays.
So something different from the Rays. Obviously, traditionally been a single back team, with multiple receiver looks. They certainly got that in the playbook, and certainly will run that out during the game, I've no doubt. But going to a two-back set, because at the moment, the running back stable is pretty stacked there at the moment.
My understanding is that probably both of these players could be interchangeable at fullback and running back.
Absolutely.
James Taylor has become a very big back in his time. Both run the inside zone very well, though. Both backs split out now. Tongakilo, he'll pump fake and go, and will make that 3 running threats in their backfield. Tongakilo included with James Taylor and Jonah Gardner.
As I said, not afraid to finish his runs off. As I said, plays a lot like Cam Newton. So be interesting to see again tonight. I think the Stingrays O-line, which was the strength of the team last year, have lost a number of key guys this season. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up against this very physical Thunder front.
And the inside receiver is Paludan. Oh, quick pitch, and it's mishandled, and James Taylor just has to jump on it. And maybe a little bit of early season rust. That was literally the third offensive play run by the Stingrays here in 2019. And they had the bye week in week 1. And do you see that as an advantage or a disadvantage? Week 1 bye.
I think that stage it really doesn't matter. It's an extra week of preseason. You set your scheme up based around when your first game is. I don't think it really matters.
3 wide receivers. Dylan Napier in the slot. And they're going to pass. They want Paludan. Paludan's deep on. Look at that coverage from Back. Now that's a matchup I'm looking forward to seeing tonight. Paludan taking on Tristan Back. Paludan, junior sensation, as a Colt playing up in seniors, was easily the best receiver on this Gold Coast unit last year. Dominated earlier in the year at the Junior Nationals, winning MVP. Now he makes the move to seniors.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him at practice, he just carries himself with a whole different level of confidence and self-assurity. And not in a cocky or an arrogant way, just he knows what he can do, and he's a force to be reckoned with.
Well, the 285s, that's a matchup I look forward to watching tonight. James, no, that's Jonah Gardner again. The first level blocking from the Gold Coast Stingrays is amazing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good so far. A couple of things, obviously, that I've seen that I would prefer as an O-line coach differently. But hey, that's not my job anymore.
And these backs and the 2 actual designed running plays so far have managed to cross the first down yard marker without any contact.
Just love the way that Jonah lowered his shelf, kept his legs moving, kept them pumping, and got an extra 4 or 5 yards out of that.
And now a change in the backfield. Number 31 coming to the field, James Booth.
So it's Booth's first year at the Stingrays.
And they're going long. Napier's open and gets contact immediately. catch there to Napier. Nathan Ashton Miles, one of the shortest members on this Thunder unit. He makes the tackle.
Great ball there by Lance. Had plenty of time there as well. Good protection by his running backs. Yeah, and then picked the one-on-one coverage out.
Napier is another one of those youngsters, came through the Colts program and is now a veteran, really. 3 years in the men's division, I believe.
He's still quite young, but because he came through the junior program, but he's been around the club so long, you sort of forget that.
Yeah, exactly right. How young he is. I feel like I can't even use that as a tidbit of information anymore. That man's in the slot.
Ooh.
Booth, right of Tonga Kilo. Tonga Kilo's going to have to keep it. He gets pressure immediately, and the Thunder chalk up a win on that play.
Notice Malloy was in at running back on that play. That's an interesting wrinkle.
And there it is. You never know where Malloy's going to pop up, but off he comes, and James Taylor comes back in, and the tackle there made by a couple of Thunder players. Just to give you an idea of how fresh some of these players are as far as they're cohesive with the Thunder, I was asking some of the players to fill me in on some numbers I didn't have there, and they weren't certain themselves. So it can be a funny game, recruitment, over the off-season, and when the team finally comes together. A deep drop here from Tonga Kilo. Over the middle he goes. Is this a catch? Yes, it is. Dylan Napier. Some safe hands.
That brings up and goal, I think.
And goal indeed.
Stingrays sideline seems pretty happy about that.
And conversely, the Thunder sideline does not, particularly some of the former Wildcat players. And we've had a referee falling over. It's old classic Tim Redshaw with a nice little film moment there. He'll like that on his rap sheet. And just a forgot how tall some of these defensive linemen are nowadays. Anyways, back to live action. Tonga Kilo handed off to James Taylor. Taylor's bowling people over, wrestling for a touchdown, but they stop him short. A good stop there from the Thunder.
Something James Taylor's worked on over the years at the Rays, he's been there a few years now, is finishing off his runs, keeping his legs moving, not being afraid to take on tacklers and try and run over them like he has there. You know, often he'd sort of get caught up at the first tackle or run out of bounds. You know, he's worked very hard at finishing those runs.
Napier in the slot. Napier hasn't got anyone on him yet. Now coming out to him is a defender, and they're going to truck forward, waiting for a signal. It's a wrestle at the line. No touchdown signal as of yet, bar those in Columbia blue. Taylor got obviously close, very close. You can see on replay, fighting for it there.
So who knows, the Stingrays certainly aren't afraid to, run the ball straight at that very, very physical front seven of the Thunder. Be interesting to see how that plays out as the game goes on.
Dale Stanley at centre. The Tonga Kilo, he'll take it himself, and without drama, we'll add the first 6 points for the Stingrays in 2019 and for this Week 3 matchup. The Stingrays, they take an early lead here in the first quarter via Lance Tonga Kilo, QB1 of the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Sure, LT won't mind having his name in the paper for that one.
Well, Tonga Kilo used to playing in European competitions where they have a bit of a crowd going on. He wanted to celebrate there, then realised there was no one watching him.
Yeah, he played JUCO prior to that as well.
Yeah, JUCO at Cerritos College as a tight end, but also a little bit of linebacker, particularly in his European portion, which probably still isn't over. I'm actually a little surprised that he hasn't headed over to France. This kick is up by Perkins, and the kick is good by Perkins. 7-0. The lead here from the Stingrays. Just a couple minutes into the first quarter.
Reese Perkins there on the extra point. Reese, known around the Stingrays as Juster, is in Just a Kicker.
I think you can make that joke, mate.
I will, and I'll hear all about it later, I'm sure.
Indeed, but it proven to be a reliable kicker. I believe it was Reese Perkins who made the kick for a national championship.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, Western Australia over at
Waco.
Waco.
Still remember that. That was a very nerve-wracking game.
I remember calling that, and I couldn't get too excited because I saw flags come out, only to find out that it was
probably
offside.
Our sideline celebrating, wasn't it?
So, nevertheless, he's made many important kicks in his time.
We're about to see another one here.
And maybe not as much pressure on a kickoff after a score in the early stages of the season.
And that said, we'll probably put the mockers on you now. You'll shank this out of bounds.
You'd be welcome to the club, mate. Tees out, 7-0. First score to the Stingrays. Thunder went. They punted on their first possession.
You'd be trying to get this away from Tristan back, surely.
So,
Surely.
oh, well, before that, we got a bit of a debacle here. There was a delay in trying to get the tee out. So then
Now we've got two.
Perkins said, stuff it. I'll just dig it into the dirt. And then they found it. And then by the time they threw it out, Perkins had already set up. In any case, Perkins doesn't need a tee, gets that ball down nicely, but straight into the arms of Tristan Back. Tristan Back with that near side sideline. He'll get taken down from Paludon. Jaden Paludon gets a measure of revenge.
Keep in mind, Jaden played only a few hours ago for the
Colts.
For the Colts.
Oh, that's exactly right. I forget. He
he played the first half there. And
I kept calling him. He was only 18 last year, which means that 17 last year.
Yeah.
Which means that he still has another year of eligibility. I just sort of announced him as making his sort of transition to seniors. By the time he actually makes the full transition to seniors, he would have been a 2-year veteran. He's played a lot of football though. Between
almost ready for retirement.
well, he's played a lot of football. He obviously played a full junior and senior season last year, and then played a full week of junior nationals earlier in the year. And prior to that, has been involved in
It's a long year.
junior seasons that always have extended. As we're seeing a timeout there, was that officials timeout?
I think it's an official's timeout.
Something wrong with the chain, perhaps, or does he need to have a chat to the Stingrays sideline? Richard Prater's walking with some gusto to that sideline, so
Might have been people in the players' box that shouldn't have been.
Hilly
not
wants to
sure.
chat. David Hill making his second year at head coach. Last year all was co-head coach with Lance Dongakilo. Now Lance focusing on being a quarterback, and letting Hill make the full transition to HC.
One of the key things, I was talking to Tommy Colwyn this week about what might be different from last week, obviously with the loss to the Ravens, and he indicated that this week they'll have their starting centre back on their offensive line, which, you know, yeah, which for he was a key find for them last year. He sort of stepped up great and was a key part of their Sun Bowl run. So having him back this week, I think that's going to make a big difference to this offense.
Here's another one who got the late call, the SOS. In any case, here he is to stop it to Corwin now. Malloy showing blitz and will go blitzing. He's picked up though, but enough to bother the play. I think it looked like Corwin expected Back to come back on a hitch there, and Back read a fade.
It sort of goes back to what we were talking about earlier today in the women's game about, you know, the key of getting quarterback pressures. You know, even if you don't get home, just either showing blitz, creating pressure, pushing, you know, a blocker back into the pocket, creates, you know, urgency with the quarterback, which then can lead to, you know, miscommunications or poorly thrown balls or something like that. So again, we saw there the Rays D-line getting some push on that O-line, and, you know, Tommy's ball being a little bit off target.
Tristan Back playing both ways, offense and defense. And they're gonna, what is this? There will be a speed option that Thomas will have to keep, Thomas Corwin. And he'll
Really?
get tackled for a loss.
Really good coverage of that. I think the Rays have worked on that hard this week, knowing that this is an established part of their playbook. So we see there, you know, on that play, Malloy obviously getting in and making the tackle, but the reason being is Tommy had to keep that ball because number 26, Blake Hatchman, covered that running back very, very well. Shot in from outside backer straight into the backfield, took away that pick shots from straight away.
With the tough job of covering Tristan Back is number 10, Glenn Suber. Glenn Suber. And that is Reese Perkins getting a hand to that. Pass intended there to Corey Jones.
So just a point there about Glenn Subin, who was out there at corner for the Rays. He was actually at the Thunder last year, I think, as an assistant coach, and I think he played for them previous to that as well. So bit of a homecoming for him in a way, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so. First game coming up against your former team, against the guy who you know did a lot of damage. He probably did a lot of film breakdown for him. And he knows how tough it is. That was a third down conversion. Tristan Back will punt it away this one. Well, in the air it looks prettier, but net result not nearly as effective as his first punt. Matter of fact, they've stayed within their own territory, I believe. And the Gold Coast Stingrays will take over. We haven't got an official spot yet, but it'll be close to the 50. Okay, he's managed to get a just out. Looking...
No, I think he's just inside the 50, isn't he?
no.
Hard to tell from here.
Yeah, looking at the line. No, you're exactly right. 40 on the...
48?
Yeah, 48.
No, 43. Think about the
43
shortened
with
field.
the shortened field. Once we do our maths, carry the 2, get the abacus out.
Normally have spreadsheets to do this sort of stuff.
So 1st and 10 inside Thunder territory, already with a 7-point lead. Lance Tongakilo comes back out with his 2-back set.
All right, Jonah Gardner back in the backfield with, along with
Booth?
James Booth. I was going to just call him Boothie. I thought better look at his proper
Part of the
name.
media team now, mate. 4 down linemen with plenty showing blitz for the Thunder. Again, gets past the line without being touched. Jonah Gardner, productive gain on 1st down.
Decent push there off from the O-line. Notice that number 68, Jesse Sharp's back out there after he wasn't out there for the first drive. I know he's been carrying a few little niggles during the off-season, so I don't know if that was behind that or not, but good to see him back out there.
You can see all the trenchmen for the Gold Coast Stingrays on that close-up there. Now, Jonah Gardner at fullback, and Booth is going to move the tailback. He'll run a swing, but they're going to go deep for Paludan, who has to work behind. That's good coverage. I think Jaden might be coming up against his toughest challenge of his probably football career against Tristan Back.
It was a great matchup. I'm really excited to see how that goes for the rest of the night. Those two are so, such dynamic athletes. You put those two together with each other, I think we're going to see both guys make plays throughout the night.
Well, Paludan is fast, he's quick. Usually, and I saw him get the early step outside Tristan Back there, but I don't think he's used to seeing someone with the makeup speed of Tristan Back. He immediately was looking for the ball, little did he know, right in his hip pocket.
Ooh.
Tristan was, and that's a bad snap, or a bad exchange, and down goes LT. And this will be 4th down now, 4th and 10. And they're sending out the punt unit.
Who must be Reese Perkins. Justin living up to his nickname.
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, he did get a tip earlier.
Sure, we'll give you that. So who we got back at return there? Is that
It's gonna be Tristan. Yeah, it's Tristan Back. He's gonna be busy tonight. Both sides of the ball and special teams, all 3 phases.
I'm not a special teams expert, but Tristan Back's the type of return man that the great man Pat McAfee would say is a nightmare.
Here comes Perkins. It's a good snap. Perkins sets up, trying to pooch it in the corner. It's a friendly bounce. Actually bounces away from him. Can they stop it before it gets to the goal line? You, ladies and gentlemen, Pat McAfee would be proud. Oh, almost a bit of a knuckleball out of there. Gets a bad bounce on Back. Back sitting there with his hands on his hips going, well, what can I do about that? And making sure that doesn't touch the end zone is number 86 in Ruku Hataya, veteran amongst the receiving corps.
Playing in his 20th season, believe it or not.
I was about to say, I've called that man's name a lot.
Not the 20th season for the Stingrays.
Obviously not, but obviously it was at
in Finland.
Finland, yes,
previously,
of course.
and then he came over here, and he's been at the Rays for probably forever, almost part of the furniture. So yeah, he put a post up today saying it was commencing his 20th season.
How about that? He's a nurse by
he's
trade.
I think he's an ED nurse.
Yeah, ED.
He's put the call out saying it's his last year. I think I've heard that about 5 years in a row now.
Heard that 5 years in a row from 50 different players. Tommy Corwin now working out the shadow of his own goalpost, quite literally.
Stingrays loaded the box.
They're going to try and get a safety here. A safety won the game in a men's game last week. And Tristan Back is going to go 99 yards. Or check that, make that 89. Nevertheless, a full field, coast-to-coast touchdown. No laundry on the field. That is Corwin to Back.
Wow, that is incredible. If anybody's going to be able to sit back in their own end zone like that, under that sort of pressure, and just drop a dime like that, where it hits his guy in stride, 89 yards for the touchdown. That's incredible.
Just it's how interesting is it nowadays. Back in, dare I say, back in the day, but many teams would not even think about passing, let alone getting 4 wide. They'd load in a heavy set and just try to get as many yards with the punt as possible. Now it's a prime opportunity to make plays like that.
Yeah, exactly right. You saw the Stingrays load the box. Okay, this is going to be single cover or cover 0. Let's put it out the middle of the field and see what happens.
And Mike Jones is coming up for the PAT. It's not a pretty one, and it's not effective. That will leave the score 6-7. The Stingrays hold on to a narrow lead. And just a look at this one more time. Just open space. The moment he caught it, he already had 5 yards on his man.
Guy like that with that class, no one's catching him. Gets a couple of steps like that.
And I bet Corwin probably lit up with joy when Tristan called him and said he was coming back for another season.
Watching Tommy walk off the field now, absolutely calm as a coma. Not even remotely phased.
He's
Just
a veteran.
on with business.
Central Missouri is or
Central Missouri, yeah.
yeah, Central Missouri, University of Central Missouri. But as you said, as we were talking about earlier, with that situation, no longer are teams just getting into the heavy set and trying to clear room for the punt. That's a chance for them to make big plays because other teams are trying to get the safety.
Yeah.
The defensive teams are trying to get the safety, I should
Well,
say.
essentially, they're looking at the box count. Okay, how many to the box? 6, 7. Okay, the run's low percentage here. So you know what? Let's see if we can back our guys to get the job done and take advantage of the one-on-one coverage.
So the Sun Bowl champions answer back went down to the Ravens in week 1. The Ravens also looking to get back to the Sun Bowl. A very close game between the Bayside Ravens and the Thunder in the playoffs at Sunshine Coast last year. The Ravens very unlucky to miss out, and the Thunder went on to win their first title. And it's an awkward kickoff. Someone's going to eventually get on it and will cop a shot. I think it's Jonah Gardner. Thunder's claiming they've got it. And the referees are claiming Jonah was down.
Wow. It's another one of those we talked about before, first games, rookies out there making mistakes, stuff like that. This is often where you see it in the kickoffs, not knowing it's a live ball. Guys sort of going, hey, cool, let's let it bounce. And
At the same time, I saw some linemen on that second line. He's like, it's not my job to return the ball.
they're correct, and you definitely don't want to.
I still have memories of that cold game, and was it in Green Bay? Green Bay versus New England?
Oh, with the guard returned it.
Returning it.
Yeah,
Like
everyone loves a big man
Loaf
touchdown.
of bread. Or at least a big man 60-yard return. First down and 10 for Lance and the Stingrays. Very early jump for the Thunder. Trying to get a pick.
Oh.
Getting a pick. Cutting it back inside and almost tackled by his own man was number 43. That's young Arthur Padalesio. The young Colt moving up to seniors. Picking off that pass, and
That was an incredible play.
he actually does get hit by his own
Hit by
player.
that guy.
Number 91, not on our team list. Oh no, check that, Jordan Scanlon.
Great play, great awareness. And now, excellent field position here for Tommy and the Thunder. We're first and 10 on the 15.
Patelesio, a talented young junior last year. A welcome addition to the men's. Actually played in the men's team towards the back end of the season last year and competed in that Sun Bowl. Looking for back on the flat. Back's going to try and make some people miss after he catches it, and he'll be eventually wrapped up. You got a lot of advantageous DBs trying to strip that ball away as well. It's safely out of bounds.
I don't know if you or the people at home saw, but you just noticed just before the ball snapped, Tommy happens to look over at back, and he just gives him a little nod, just a really, really subtle nod. And I was thinking, oh, here it goes. And sure enough, whether it was he liked the route concept, he liked the matchup, don't know. But yeah, it was Tommy's go-to guy. And sure enough,
Got an injury timeout now. A Thunder player on the far side. I think it might be Daniel Raybold in the 34. Another person who said he was done, was sure of it. Several months said, no, you're not getting me back. You're not getting me back. And, well, now he's back.
back at fullback now, I believe.
Well, that's what he said he's trying to get.
Trying to get, okay.
But he said he's just trying to avoid playing O-line. As long as he stays on the defensive side of the ball, he's happy. But he's off the field for now. Looks like it was just a bit of cramp, a bit of lack of preseason preparation.
And by lack of preseason, we mean
Zero preseason. First and goal now after that back reception. Corey Jones matched up one-on-one with Subin on the backside.
A lot of room on that open side too.
I can smell a slant. And they'll hand it off now, and he's squirting through.
Wow.
Is the diminutive Sean Darty, untouched for 6. Wow, and look, he's one of those guys, he's short enough to try and sneak through the defenders, and that's exactly what he does.
Like, good read by Tommy. Good blocking on play side there. Nice gap for him to go through, essentially untouched. And how quickly momentum swings.
Exactly right. A great opening drive from this Stingrays. and in two swift drives. Thanks, the second of which, thanks to a turnover by Arthur Patelisio. The Thunder now have the lead, trying to make it a 6-point lead. This is up. It's ugly, but this time effective. Mike Jones.
Another
That's his second PAT.
Another man bought out of retirement.
I literally, and I'm sure he's okay with me telling you this, literally had a conversation with him at the start of the week where he was telling me how he was taking the year off, that he's done for now. He needs to afford his time to other things in life outside of football, and then here I see a number 5 jersey. The ongoing theme for the Thunder here in 2019, at least here in week 1.
Oh, and in fairness, there are a couple of guys over on the Stingrays sidelines who similar situation.
Look, honestly, I think you can go through the men's division and you'll find a good handful of them in each team.
Number 71 for the Stingrays, Hitz Williams, the left tackle, played for Queensland a couple of times, well known around the league. Yeah, he was done, retired, whatever. Literally 2 days ago. Oh yeah, I'm back.
Stingrays legend Chris Mooney. He had a good couple of Johnny Farnham come back to us.
He was the Brett Father of the league. He was retired, then he wasn't. Retired, then he wasn't. I'm sure Chris is watching tonight, so hey, Chris.
And Stingrays and even Malloy, I thought after the year last year might have been questioning. He's a dad of a couple now, so I thought he might have been possibly looking towards the sunset of his career. Here he is. And returning that is Jonah Gardner. He finds a seam in the middle of the field, but quickly converges on him, and he'll get that back to the Stingrays 35.
Dangerous return man, Gardner. You give him a seam, give him a bit of open space to get up to speed. He's gone. Like he doesn't need much room.
Roger that, thank you, appreciate that. I'm just getting a jersey update. That number 20, that James Taylor is now wearing number 22.
Okay.
Ripped the jersey, the big fella. He'll claim it's for the game. I'll claim that maybe he ordered a size 2 small.
No comment.
Any case, James Taylor has moved from 23 to 22. And the Zion quarterback a run to Lance Tonga-Kilo, nets him a couple of yards.
Be interesting to see after that last drive whether the Thunder continue to bring the pressure. As I've already noted, the Rays offensive line missing some veterans from last year, so there's a few green guys out there tonight. They've already had 1 turnover. I think they keep pouring the pressure on.
Napier and Paludan, right side of your screen. Hard give to Gardner, but good defense there from the Thunder. It'll be a tackle for at best, no gain. Matter of fact, he loses a yard. Back to 3rd and 10.
Looking pre-snap, it looks like the Thunder, not only are they sort of loading the box or stacking up against the run, they've gone to a cover 1 with the free safety in really shallow. It is literally waving the flag to Lance going, yeah, okay, try and throw it. We dare you to throw it.
That's defense is showing what they truly do fear and fear not. And the arm of Lance Tonga-Kilo apparently not so for the Thunder. They send another blitz. Tonga-Kilo's got time to throw. Hits Napier underneath. But over the top of him is Cameron Groenhide.
That's good situational awareness there. Gave him the underneath route. Rays took it, then shut it down on the coverage, made the tackle. Brings up 4th down. Hey, get the guys off the field, get the offense back on.
4th down now, and I'm trying to see if that number 4 jersey is coming out.
I think it's the end of the quarter, is it?
I think it would be. End of quarter now, so high scoring in the grand scheme of things. First quarter, 20 points scored between the two teams. Thunder lead at the end of 1, 13-7. Touchdown to Back and a short touchdown run to Sean Darty gave them their 2 touchdowns. The Stingrays scoring through Lance Tonga-Kilo on a 3-yard touchdown run.
I mean, the difference so far really has been the interception, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was one. It was a one that really flipped momentum, as you described at the time.
If you can get turnovers, score points off it, be +7 on turnovers. Always makes it hard for teams to overcome that.
So it looks like they will be sending in, well, they have sent in the punt team. Reese Perkins and his trusty boot right now being good to him today. He hopes to continue that. It's a good spiral on it. Straight into the arms of Tristan. Back beats the first defender. He's got some space. He's taking it back at least 20 yards already. Looking for more and takes this into the heart of the Stingrays bench. That sets up the Thunder nicely. They'll have first down around the middle of the field.
Excellent return there. Makes the first guy miss. Gets a seam on the outside. There's a foot race up the sideline. Gets forced out of bounds just past midfield, I believe. So that's excellent field position for the Thunder and to take over.
First down and 10.
Question is now, do the Rays kick to Tristan anymore? Do you just try and get it out of bounds?
Well, I think Reese is a confident man, and I think he's going to continue to back his boot.
I think you might be right there.
First down and 10 for the Thunder. Seeing Liam Hunter actually moved from guard where he played last year out to left tackle now. Two in the backfield with Corwin. Corwin looking right, throwing very quickly. Hitting a man in stride. Nice quick connection there. Pass completed to young Tom Ferguson. Stepping up from the Colts. Did last week. Has had garnered huge praise from Tommy Corwin from my understanding.
Yeah, I spoke to Tommy during the week, asked him about some players to look out for, and yeah, he outlined number 10 as a slot receiver again. Junior, who or Colts that stepped up and filled a void for them. Been very, very impressed with the type of football player he is, both not only when he's on field but also his football IQ as well.
See on the back of his jersey just in that last play. Thundercats on the back there, the combined team of the Thunder and the Wildcats from a season ago. Corwin, quick snap. Looking left, stands in the pocket. We'll find Corey Jones, knees on the ground. It's enough for a first down though. And that'll move the chains here for the Thunder. Bring up a first down ball around the 40.
One thing about Tommy's play, obviously, coming from Central Missouri and having played in the Div 2 system, is he's so quick at getting the ball out. Like, very, very hard to get legitimate pressure or get hits on him or sacks because he gets rid of the ball so fast.
Pretty much speed of release calculated, and a lot of quarterbacks nowadays, particularly at the higher level, certainly at the NFL level. Tony Romo, very famous for his quick release, but you look at someone like Jimmy Garoppolo now. That was highly praised from him out of his Eastern Illinois days. Part of the reason the Patriots originally drafted him. Corwin drops back and will try to again hit Ferguson. It's too low for him though, incomplete. That'll bring up second and 10, ball currently on the Stingrays 39.
Starting to see, I think it was touched on at the start of the broadcast about the size and the physicality of the Thunder O-line versus the speed of the Stingrays O-line, D-line. And early in the game, the Rays were getting off their blocks and making plays and whatever else, and now the adrenaline's worn off a little bit. We're just starting to see, Tommy just having enough time where he's been kept nice and clean and getting that ball out without a lot of pressure.
Second and 10, ball on the Stingrays 39. Once again, same formation. This time Mike Jones in the right slot. Deep drop, setting up the screen. They've got it. What can they do with it? Finding a block to the outside there. Is that Darty? No, it isn't. It is the new man, Cameron Smith. Taking it forward. Looked dangerous. Ultimately, gets them a good gain of 5 yards, and that'll make it 3rd and 5. Ball now on the 34.
I have a feeling that's one of those wrinkles Tommy was telling me about during the week that he'd been working on. I don't recall seeing that last year in the Sun Bowl, him running that sort of screen.
Well, they did have various stuff with Chris Pope, obviously, in the fold last year.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of different things for him. Not back, and Leon Moody, their other man they brought in last year, dealing with injury, so he's had a hampered start to the season. Couple of injuries, in fact. We already touched on Garrett Griffith, so a lot of key players missing for the Thunder here in Week 3. Tommy Corwin looking to the right on the pass, and Ferguson showing off his hand-eye coordination there and stretching out for that grab. Starting to pay back some of that praise he received from both his quarterback and head coach.
Yeah, great. Breaks off the route there. Look at that. Good extension. Make sure he gets his feet down.
13-7. Thunder on the march. 1st and 10. Ball on the 26. Corwin with Jones and Ferguson to the right. Smith and back to the left. They will give it to Darty. Darty will try to squirt past that. He does. Now he turns on the Jets, turns the corner, bouncing it back inside. Can he get all the way? No, he's stopped by Malloy a yard short. Another impressive run by Darty. They haven't given him a whole lot of work in this first half, but when they have, he's produced.
Look at that outstanding push that offensive line gets. Like they've got the Rays defensive line on skates, going back a couple of yards, get that edge sealed. Gives a player like that, give him space like that to work in. He's going to get the edge very quickly and make you pay.
Well, the quickest in the league at the running back position, Mr. Darty. And still not a whole lot of variation in formation. Matter of fact, we now do. We've got 4 wide. The Jones twins in the slots. Ferguson out to the right sideline, back isolated on the left. They'll roll out on play action here, and this will be a touchdown. Or will it? To who? Mike Jones.
The play does look very familiar. It's one of Tommy's favourites here. So he runs a play action fake, naked bootleg out to the back. Got the slot receiver who was lined up, I don't know if you noticed beforehand, was lined up very, very tight, like really, really tight. So he's got that ability to run that short in, get the corner wrong-footed, and then, yeah, basically streak out on the shallow out, giving Tommy plenty of room and time to deliver the pass.
Well, apparently no one needs prep. Certainly not Mike Jones. Breels it in. Adds 6 points to the score. 19-7 following that Jones and Corwin connection. PAT attempt here by the touchdown scorer to try and convert his own touchdown. Ball snaps up. Much better kick. And his best kick of the night is rewarded with 1 point. 20 points to 7 midway through the second quarter. The Thunder, the defending champions, got a 2-touchdown lead now against the Gold Coast Stingrays.
I think we can safely say the Sunbowl hangover is probably worn off for Mike Jones. He's scored the touchdown there, kicked the extra point, looked a lot better as well off the boot. So, yeah, it looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
And ready for war. You can already see him having a chat with some of the players as he's walking back to the huddle as well. Wouldn't be a footy game with the Jones twins if there wasn't a straddle of the line of banter.
Look, and fair, that's something I do miss not being on the sideline anymore, particularly against the Thunder. The Jones boys are always good for a chat, and yeah, it's not unusual for the Stingray sideline to want to have a chat back.
Oh, exactly right. And the ref deciding whether he keeps that hanky in the pocket.
It's all good fun.
Back now to kick off. Interesting. Back the place kicking specialist for kickoffs, but Jones the PAT kicker.
That is interesting. Anything Tristan Back can't do.
Apparently kick PATs. And this will be an awkward one. This is deliberately kicked in that spot, and well, if this was rugby league, that would be wonderful. It isn't though, and that'll be a penalty, and that'll gift the Stingrays with a fantastic field position, unless of course they choose to re-kick it. But the teams are swapping over now. I think they'll just take the field position.
Got to wonder if that was a cheeky attempted onside that obviously not the traditional, just 10 yards. I obviously noticed a gap in the coverage and thought, well, if we can land it in there and our gunner's fast enough, can he get a favourable bounce?
Well, you're just backing the speed, aren't you, for those ones? And hopefully you get a favourable bounce. He did actually get a bit of backspin on that, but not favourable enough.
Significantly leaner Hitch Williams out there at left tackle for the Stingrays.
Well, mentioned that enough last season there. He wanted a big dietary change, and good for him. It's obviously gotten himself to a much healthier place as Dylan Napier is caught and hit immediately. Flags are down back near the line of scrimmage, though. Multiple flags, in fact. Both Tim Redshaw and referee Richard Prater throwing in flags.
It's generally one of two things then. It's either holding or roughing the passer.
Did also mention at the start of the top of the women's broadcast, Richard Prater in his 25th year of officiating.
Rays aren't moving back, so they seem to think it's not on them.
Might have been offside. No, it was late in the play, so
It was very late.
young Jordan Scanlon getting pinged for a roughing the passer there. So that'll give a free ride for the Stingrays, 15 yards up the field. And, oh, hold the phone. I think a New Jersey might be entering the fray. Just to our right here. And I'll tell you what, I probably won't need a mystery team list for that. A number 98 jersey hitting the field, but on the field right now is Lance Tongakilo going back the way he came and picking up a first down.
And we've got
Bunch of whistles and a player down. It looks like the 16 for the Thunder, Nathan Ashton Miles. Just from the back end of the run, involved with a bit of contact at the back end there.
yeah, it might be a shoulder by the look of that.
He's not moving.
Well, I don't think your eyes deceive you, Kenny.
We started the narrative earlier about players coming out of retirement. This just takes it to a whole
This is next
another
level.
level. If the man who I think is kidding up is in fact kidding up.
I have good mail from earlier in the week that yeah, that is what you think it is. Kel Hausen is suiting up and making a return this season for the Thunder.
The neck brace is coming back out. Yeah. Well, let's just see how many snaps old Kelvin has in him. That.
He did message me the other day and asked whether I was going to come out of retirement to go against him one more time, and I was like, not a chance, mate.
You've made your decision.
Oh yeah, I'm happy.
And there's a couple of the lads sitting down there, Trego, and you see the right of your screen there. We are not bluffing, ladies and gentlemen. It is club president and soon to be club defensive lineman Kelvin Hausen pulling jersey over pad number 98. Look out for it. We'll be certain to call it out if we see it. In the meantime, Ashton Miles has walked off with a smile on his face, so no dramas there. First down and 10 for the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Looks like some confusion on the O-line here, so this will be interesting.
And it's a screen to Napier. Immediately has two great blocks in front of him. He'll take it downfield and will cop a big shot
Nice hit.
there from Groenhide. And that will be a first down, I think, for the Stingrays. By my count, it could just be short, though.
Is that one of those we talked about in the women's game? One of those second and short situations.
First
No,
down.
it's first down, so ignore that.
Good lead in. And we're seeing a timeout being called. Gary Griffith wanting to talk to his defense here.
I'm talking to Tommy during the off-season, had massive reps around Garrett and the way he calls his defence and the impact he has. And not to take anything away from the Ravens for last week's result, but Tommy certainly identified that one of the big factors in regards to last week's outcome was losing Garrett very early with an injury. Sort of a bit lost on defence in terms of, organisation and play calling and stuff like that. So, it's good to see him on the sideline this week. Obviously, they've, made some changes in regards to who's responsible for what on field, and so far it seems to be working.
Well, speaking about sideline there, just the man we were talking about, Kel Hausen, warming up. Trying to warm up.
The old school Bill Romanowski cowboy collar there too.
Don't see a whole lot of them nowadays, do you?
Well, speaking from experience, trying to play with one of them, I wasn't a big fan at all.
As we come back from the timeout here. First down. After that wide receiver screen to Dylan Napier produced a moving of the chains. Back to first down. Handoff, and that was to Booth. And Booth is tackled immediately behind the line of scrimmage. Making a stop there for the Thunder is again Patelasio. Intercept early, and now for a tackle for a loss.
A lot of leakage on that play side there, that's all I'm going to say.
You'll make the full transition to broadcaster soon, mate.
It's hard to get the O-line coach out of me.
Or you won't, and, well, then you get Coach Hollywood Rowe. Coaching and broadcasting at the same time. Tonga Kilo will take this, and he's got room to move. He's got the near side pylon, and he will take it for 6. His second touchdown of the day, and we've got a bit of scuffle happening back towards the middle of the field. Palyon's not happy with some of the actions from Mark Jones. Nevertheless, 6 points in favour of his team. Tonga Kilo just being dangerous in the open field.
Two very passionate football players in Jones and Paladin. Who would have thought those two would get into a bit of a chat at some point?
Well, I did see a bit of a shot in the back, well, not in the back, but in the back play there from Mike Jones, and it's always an odd one. You know, I think coaches nowadays discourage that, but then you have some coaches just stick to head in the logic of head on a swivel, be prepared to defend yourself
head on a
between the
swivel,
whistles.
play to the whistle.
And you see a bit of conflict arise from those two different schools of thought. As not to be outdone, Perkins slots his second PAT of the day, and that gives a 6-point buffer here. Thunder lead the Stingrays 20 points to 14 as halftime looms closer.
Reece Perkins looking very solid in the kicking game tonight.
Very much so. Tonga Kilo, though, just proving you need to account for him.
Absolutely.
As we see one more time, and this wasn't a design.
No, just very good ball carrier vision by LT. Sees the gap open up, sees the the coverage is obviously spread out, looking for the pass, and he backs himself in.
And he backs it behind the veteranship of Riku Hataya, who just immediately had a sense of when his quarterback was running, turned from a catcher to a blocker, and really sealed that edge for his quarterback to get in there for 6. 20 points to 14. Week 3, Gridiron Queensland action brought to you live by Live Streaming Brisbane. Bringing you almost all the action here in 2019 for Gridiron Queensland. Can't be too far from the 2-minute warning, one would figure, as Reece Perkins, after a successful PAT, sets the kick off, back deep to return. Both Back and Cameron Smith. Back, knees are on the ground, blow the whistle before anything happens. Wonderful. And but our playful banter, who was that, number 16, in Bailey Harding. But of course, for those who might be watching American football, at least in our country for the first time, and wondering why that couldn't be play on there, the play is considered over as soon as the player in possession of the ball has any part of his body with the other than his hands, and we'll say the palms of his hands and the soles of his feet touching the ground. So the most obvious one is the knee. Once that knee's touching the ground, that play is over, whether a defender forced it or not.
Tough assignment there, just quickly, for the Stingray special team, is trying to work out, do you kick to Smith or to Back? I'm always kicking out of bounds, I think.
Well, Smith hasn't put in too much of a show. I think I'd back myself there until proven otherwise. Back has got quite the resume. And a bit of...
nice delay handoff there.
Yeah, delayed handoff, but it didn't really lose too much in the grand scheme of things. Darty makes up for it, takes it forward for maybe 6 yards.
Yeah, good there. Tommy shows almost a quick screen just to get the defence to sort of freeze slightly. Drops the delayed handoff, gives his O-line time to open up the gap. Well executed there.
Thunder looking to answer back. Inside their own territory, ball at the Thunder 21. Shoulder fake. There by Corwin, and then that allowed Ferguson to get behind the defensive backs, but he couldn't bring it in off the back shoulder.
Look, great ball there from Corwin. Threw it in the right spot as well. He's just unlucky that Ferguson couldn't pull that one in.
We've talked about returning players. We've talked about retiring players and not retiring players. We haven't talked about moving players, one of which there was the guy who just came on your screen, Jamal Sinapati. Long-time Raven, of course, multi-generations in the Ravens. Both his father, president and coach at one time, and Ben Sinapati, former GQ president, and his brother, Elijah. As this play will be called dead. Too many defenders unabated to the quarterback there, but yeah, he's actually lived down the Gold Coast for a number of years, and it's just been his loyalty to the Ravens as captain there. But I think practicality might have finally won out here, and here he is now representing the Gold Coast Stingrays.
I think you said been living on the coast for a couple of years. The practical side of it has been discussed multiple times, I think, from him. But his heart was always with the Ravens, and yeah, as I said, I think this year finally it became, all a bit.
I don't know if it's just purple or black was slimming, but he is looking huge in a good way in the Columbia blue. I didn't even recognise him.
He's certainly been hitting the weight room. Well, the first time I saw him in practice a few weeks ago, I didn't even realise who he was. I walked straight past him.
Jeez, he's looking more and more like Elijah every day, who very well could be tuning into this broadcast. Hello to you, Elijah, if you're listening in. Thunder, left-hand sideline, short gain. Nice pickup on first down. And congratulations to Elijah, if you are watching, and a brand new father as of last week.
Good coverage there by Malloy.
Ball on the 31. Malloy yet to hear a patented shot in the backfield from Malloy as of yet.
Give it time.
I'm about to say it's not a matter of when, it's if, it's certainly when. Second down and 5. And this play will come to a halt. And there's a flag down here on the near sideline. I think we mightn't have had enough players on the line of scrimmage, or was it an equipment violation?
I think Malloy's reaction here in a second will probably tell us.
He looks as confused as the rest of us.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it was an equipment violation.
I'm not sure if that was heard on the microphone there, but Damien Malloy calling for a review. Oh, it's offside.
Long way offside,
long way offside. Just giving him a thumbs up, letting him know that play was called offside. Now Malloy's trying to negotiate and ask the referees to wave it off. Always a character.
Unless it was a D-forward moment.
Not Jordan Scanlon, sorry, number 91, who is actually not on our team list. Very unusual.
Was it 91 or 97?
Or 97 perhaps, which of course would be Jackson Walters. Could also be dressed in 52, I've been told.
No, he's not playing offensive line tonight.
Yes.
He's made that very clear to me and anyone else who will listen. He will not be playing offensive line tonight.
Well, what's interesting is they haven't moved up. So, and we're right in line with this ball.
So that was offside too.
That was probably offside as well, but nonetheless, we're in the commentary booth, and the referees are on the field. That'll bring up third down.
Oh, what do you know? Now Reece Perkins and Mike Jones are getting into it.
Mike Jones is an absolutely different beast on the field, I'll tell you that. Nicest guy off the field.
He's a nice guy on the field. He just loves to chat.
Loves the chat. Third down.
Always made playing the Wildcats or the Thunder entertaining though.
Yeah, certainly, obviously the long-time Wildcat, Mike Jones, was part of involved in recruiting Tommy Corwin, who was obviously part of the former Wildcats, who came over and helped form the Thunder. And now Corwin are looking for back, and back cops. Oh my lord! Cops some serious contact over the middle of the field by two Stingrays, but no dramas. He's up. Waves that he's okay, but he'll take a playoff.
So number 82, Colin Kluger on the tackle there. So he's a first-year player for the Rays. Plays a bit of wide receiver as well. Now, Colin's actually from Miami in Florida. Played for, I think it was the Park Ridge Bucks high school team. Was a pretty good player there. Was a verbal commit to the University of Miami, I believe. And then, had an ankle injury, which ended his football days.
The unfortunate story that happened until right now. And now he's taken his talents to, the other Miami, really. He's still in Miami. Just Miami Gold Coast. Play action, but under pressure is Corwin. A big sack. Number 59 coming through. That is Lewis Carroll taking Corwin down. That's stuff straight out of football movies, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And did a good job there. Celebrated back to his teammates and not at the quarterback. Fantastic play. Corwin had no idea.
He's created some, from what I've heard, he's created some big problems for the Rays offensive linesmen at practice as well. Been a few times I think where they've had issues trying to install plays, and he's just blowing them up.
Lewis Carroll, I'm trying to rack my mind here whether he was a former Colt.
I think he's a former.
Possibly not. I'm not sure. See if we can get some
Now you're
clarification
testing me.
on that. Second down and long. Corwin wants to get a big chunk of it back right now. He tried to find Corey Jones. Not there. And now it's one of the Jones brothers copying a bit of their own medicine.
I think there's a miscommunication on the route concept there. Tommy seems to be signalling something to him after the ball went out of bounds. That maybe
Well,
there was a miscommunication there.
It's twice now where Tommy's probably thrown in the vicinity of a hitch route and his receivers are running fades anyways. Third down and 20, maybe even up to 22. Ball is currently on the Thunder 36. They need to get to the Gold Coast 35. Corwin dropping deep, bit of holding there, but they won't want that back. This will be a tackle there in the attempted screen. I think the Thunder got away with a bit of a hold there, but flags are thrown back.
I'd call it a tackle, but anyway. Let's have a look at it. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's have a look what happens here.
And we have got
So that's
player down.
Cameron Smith, I believe, that's down.
And I don't know if we'll be able to take a look at that again, but he's in quite a bit of pain.
Well, this is
Well, we can hear the groans from here, and
the fact they're on the phone to the ambulance straight away is not a good sign.
which is something we've already seen, unfortunately, today. And we don't quite catch it in our angle there, so we're not sure about what goes down, but it looks like, I thought it was a shoulder for a second. I think that's where they're still addressing, somewhere in the upper body. And they're going to try and move both teams to the sideline. Looks like we're due for another extended stay or an extended break. And we're trying to get a bit of clarity ourselves. The referees are still discussing stuff in the middle. And
I'm not sure what it sounds like. Yeah, I'm trying to listen to what's being said on the sideline here.
well, they're calling for the scissors to try and cut the jersey now. And I can already see Amanda Ewers on the phone. I assume calling an ambulance. So we've already had one leave, unfortunately.
Liam Hunter just
today.
walked off saying, I can't look at that.
Yeah, and he's describing it now. We might have something close to a compound fracture then. This getting all eerily similar responses to when Lance Tonga-Kilo came off last year, had his season ended
Mitchelton.
early. Yeah, with
Yeah,
a
that's
compound
right.
fracture to his thumb. And, well, it's up, so it's certainly to do with the upper body.
You reckon the way they're holding that arm might be a shoulder issue?
Yeah, possibly. Okay, well, he's got a smile on his face, so it alleviates some of the tension in the on the field at the moment. And we've got a pretty clear view of his arm, us commentators, but well, it doesn't. I can't see any blood or anything, so not too many dramas of a potential compound fracture. In any case, the game won't be delayed now. Both teams coming on to resume play. All right, check that. We've got a dead ball foul now, which may or may not have been involved with that injury.
No, I think it was with Mike Jones. I saw he, at the time that that Smith went down, Jones was coming off with his helmet off and like, it had been ripped off, and he obviously wasn't very happy. So I think there was a bit of business after the play between him and someone else.
No, surely not.
Perish the thought.
And on top of that, we have got our official 2-minute warning. So with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, the Thunder, they lead the Stingrays at 20 points to 14 on their own home turf. Also in possession, looking to add more. Darty in the backfield at tailback. Daniel Raybold gets some dreams made as he gets to put into fullback as Darty breaks the first tackle, spins out of another, and eventually gets lassoed down to the turf, but not after making some positive yardage.
Yeah, really good run there. Good ball carrier vision as well. You know, finds a couple of cutback lanes there until he runs out of space, but still, you know, made something out of not much there.
And I think picked up just shy of 9 yards there, making this second and short. Second and just more than a yard to go to convert. Ball on the Stingrays at 21. I'll check that, closer to the Stingrays 23 in fact. Corwin again running back to that rollout he loves so much, throwing underneath, trying to find Corey Jones. Can't connect. That'll move us to third down and short.
He loves those rollout plays.
Well, that was the same play they scored the touchdown over to Jones, Mike. But this one to Corey, incomplete.
It's something that similar to what Tommy ran in the Sun Bowl will give them the win as well, which he, after the game, told me a story about how there was a play he ran when he played in France to win a to win the national title there, and the receiver ran the wrong route and ended up being incomplete, so they didn't win. So he always wanted the chance to get that one back.
There he goes, Old Faithful. Corwin, low snap, but it's handled nicely. Corwin will run himself now. Cuts back, surrenders in the tackle, and did he get enough to convert is the question, and yes, he has picked up just short of 4 yards on that carry, and that keeps the chains moving, also keeps the clock running, and 20 yards now away from pay dirt. They enter with a clock now being stopped, and a timeout to Corwin's Thunder.
I think Corwin's probably just looking for some water and some oxygen there. Tells me that he's too old to be playing and too old to be running and doesn't like to run the ball, but yet seems to run the ball a lot.
Well, it was interesting. Last year I kept asking the question that, do you have an alternative to Darty, someone who can be a bit more meat in the middle? And effectively the answer was himself. He ended up being their second leading rusher. In some games he was their leading rusher with some of the players he was dialing up.
Multiple times in the Sun Bowl. He ran that same read option play where rather than, say fake the handoff inside right and then run backside like left, he was running up the middle.
Yeah, he was.
And I think there was a part there in the third quarter, wasn't there, where he ran that same play 3 or 4 times in a row.
Found effectiveness.
But yeah, he's too old to do that, he reckons.
How 6 months can make all the difference. Coming out of the timeout, that's the Thunder's second timeout of the half, leaving them with one more to my count. Ball right on the 20 in the red zone now. 20-14 lead for the Thunder. Trying to make that 26. Low snap, handled nicely from Corwin. He throws off his back foot for back in the end zone, and he almost brings it in. Incomplete. Stingray survived that play, brings up 2nd and 10.
I'm sorry, we're just talking about how amazing that throw is. He's thrown that under duress off his back foot from a quarterback technical standpoint. Everything wrong. Still puts that ball exactly where his receiver needs it.
Brett Favre-esque. But I thought he'd run his receiver out of end zone there, but no, it was exactly where it needed to be. Just a little too tricky even for Tristan Beck.
It's not often we can say that.
He certainly used all parts of the field last time we saw him play in the Sun Bowl. A great matchup with Cheyenne James. Cheyenne James in Europe, I believe, applying his trade now. Sweden, possibly, back with the 86ers. Corwin under pressure. Corwin has to try to evade it. He can still throw, and he'll try to take this out of bounds. Gets chopped at the legs as he's going out. He's not happy about it. And that's a Malloy special right there. No one can submarine like Malloy.
believe he was taught by Ben Walker on that one. He was well known for the submarine tackle. A lot of years ago and a lot of kilos ago, I was playing at the Wildcats as a quarterback. My first game against the Stingrays, I was warned if I saw number 39 from the Stingrays come barreling towards me, get down because he'll take my knees out. Until he passed that on to Malloy.
There's a lot of people who do not know that part of the Adam Bolton history. The Wildcats period, and certainly not the quarterback period.
2005, I think it was.
Third down now. 3rd and 10. Looking for the sideline, hits back. And the question is, where was he taken out? It looked like it was just shy, based on where they've got it on here on the near sideline. I've been wrong every call today, though.
Excellent route, excellent pass by Tommy there as well.
I'm seeing a 4th come up, though, so I finally call one correctly. 4th and inches. Less than the length of a football away. Corwin, if he goes under center, I think everyone here at Griffith University knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, $1.01 QB sneak.
And look where he is, ladies and
be
gentlemen. Go on, surprises, Tommy. And that he doesn't. Getting around are the Stingrays. And I think he's been stopped short, waiting for the call. And still haven't been given the call here. The Stingrays seem stoked with themselves, though. And they're making their way off the field, regardless of what the officials say. Reese Perkins stays back to try and argue the case.
Again, something unusual.
Still haven't got an official decision.
From where we're sitting, I mean, it didn't look like he got anywhere near it.
Yeah, not at all, despite the effort.
As opposed to the traditional.
And there it is. We finally get it. First down for the Stingrays for the 2nd week in a row. Tommy Corwin and his reliable sneak gets stuffed. Had that one in the back pocket, ready to go.
I don't know what happened there because, traditionally in that scenario with a sneak, it's just a case of O-line, get low, drive forward, and the quarterback just dive straight ahead. He seemed to try and bounce out to the right tackle. I don't know whether he saw something there that he liked or... Yeah, it's confusing.
Oh, the Ravens did the exact same thing to him last week on a 4th and short situation. Steak not as friendly to him in 2019. Speaking about 19, Dylan Napier with another catch. Look at him just weaseling his way through defenders. Plenty of tough yards after the catch on that play.
Great work by Napier there. Good run after the catch, good awareness of what the defender's doing. Kept his feet moving.
He's a slippery customer.
I believe a timeout to the Stingrays.
Yeah, we've got I think it was an injury timeout. I think leaving the field now, I think. Number
James Taylor.
James Taylor, who was... No, maybe not. Maybe he was just there as coach. I don't think he was actually on there as a player at all. He was just following his coach, David Hill.
Probably hoping to get subbed in.
Just, well, they say, be right next to your coach, be ready at all times. Maybe a little too literal there, but...
Try and get the last touch before the half.
Got to get those stats for that contract. If any given Sunday is teaching us anything, teaching, if school has taught me anything, it's that teaching isn't a word. First down and 10. Tonga Kilos has got plenty of time, but he'll choose to tuck it and run, and then he'll get it back out again and throws it downfield. Napier was expecting a hit. No one was there, so he trots forward for another 6 or 7 yards after the catch. 2 big plays.
I think you find this one's probably coming back. Yellow hanky back at the line of scrimmage, thrown in late, usually only means one thing.
The question is it a holding or is it past the line of scrimmage?
Oh, it could well be.
Which would be a loss of down as well.
Yes, legal forward pass, so yeah, you're right. Beyond the line of scrimmage.
Nailed it. So not only will they not get that big catch to Napier, they will lose the down that it took to get there. So we're looking at 2nd and 10. Oh, second and 15, of course, with the 5 yards tacked on. always a tough one, that one. Both loss of
Yeah.
down and the yardage. Throwing to the flat to an open Jonah Gardner. Gardner will take on the DBs and will fall forward. And I think he's got the first down if my line tracing ability is on point.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
And that
I think
time,
that's half time.
that was the last play. They tried to backed it and waiting for that ball to be lifted above their head, but for all intents and purposes, and we're back. Second half, only seconds away from kicking off. The Thunder from Griffith University. They're ahead of the Stingrays, 20 points to 14. 3 touchdowns to 2, separating these two teams at the moment. It was the Stingrays first on the board here, and they're going to have the first opportunity with the ball here in the second half. Kenny Andres calling the action with you alongside Adam Bolton. Mate, only a 6-point game here, but both teams have had streaky runs of momentum.
Yeah, certainly looks like early season football, particularly the Stingrays being their first game, bit of rust, and in the case of the Thunder, they've had to make some personnel changes based on last week and some injuries today as well. So, yeah, look, close game. Still could go either way. Really excited for the second half.
I did get some confirmation on the injury to Cameron Smith earlier, which you might have seen on the screen. The ambulance that was at halftime. It was severe, but I have been told it was not a compound fracture, which is the first initial worry by everyone, but it did involve slicing. The webbing of his hand between thumb and forefinger was cut very, very deeply between the two of them. A face mask there, cutting through the glove of Cam Smith there, and creating quite the scene for all who saw it. So he's off to hospital now to try and get that stitched up. This is a kickoff that's hit the back of a Stingrays player. That Stingrays player being Dylan Lagerstrom, and that will gift them some fantastic field position. Not what the Thunder were probably intending to do.
Excellent awareness there by Lagerstrom as well to get on the ball there this early in the season. It's easy for people sort of not to be aware of what's going on around them, or that that's a live ball. So, hey, look, good starting position for the Stingrays.
So the Stingrays were in possession at the end of the half last time. Couldn't turn it into points. Here goes Tonga Kilo, though, has both of their touchdowns, looking to add a third. And will be stopped, but not after getting a big chunk of yardage on the ground, a chain-moving chunk of yardage on the ground there, and a great block from Jonah ahead of him.
That block was just absolutely savage.
I don't know which one you'd rather have blocking ahead of you. Would you?
Out of those two?
Would you rather have Tonga Kilo coming at you for the block or Jonah Gardner?
Can I take neither?
You'll take a business decision. And another run here from this time it's Jonah Gardner. Well, if takes them all the way inside to the 5. They're almost cutouts of each other, Tonga Kilo and Gardner. The inside zone run beautifully there on that particular play.
Great blocking there by the interior line. Good ball carrier vision by Jonah, and then just a way to keep his feet moving to make some tacklers miss and get down to the goal line.
And he just looks a little crisper this year, and you can tell he's had a full preseason and just garnering the and this is a bounce ball. Honestly, if that went backwards, that should be play on. Tough angle for us to judge
I
from
don't know
here.
if that
But,
was intentional or not.
well, not that I believe that this was the scenario, but I have seen high schools run a trick play based on that, the bounce pass.
Backward. Knowing how much Lance watches, particularly like high school and college ball and stuff like that, wouldn't be shocked if that was it, because it looks like his short arms out a lot and sort of pulls down very quickly.
It's
on
unfortunate if that's the case because he absolutely nailed it.
it. Let's run with it that it was intentional.
That's intentional. The referees didn't expect it though. Chasing 6 points. Stingrays inside the red zone. A handoff to Gardner. Gardner looking strong on this drive, looking like scoring a touchdown, and actually scoring a touchdown. The Stingrays level now with the Thunder. 20 points. Plays 20. PAT to come.
Excellent blocking there by Anthony Dorrell there. Got off the ball well. Got a good seal on the inside. And Jonah, as you said, having a full off-season now, having done some work in his second year, certainly has a better feel for the game and better understanding of what he's trying to do versus last year, where I think it was just a get ball, see daylight.
Exactly right. And yeah, definitely looking a bit crisper with his cuts. Perkins for the lead. Perkins is blocked. This will stay level unless something happens from this recovery. Not the case. We have a tied ball game at the start of the third.
Wow, there we go.
Well, we've been pumping up his tyres about his kicking game all game, and the block finally came. And here we see, and this is the replay of the touchdown.
Also a really there's a really good combo block in there from Dale Stanley as well. So
You've got quite a few veterans on that offensive line there. A couple of guys who've been working hard at offensive line. Dale Stanley, once upon a time, a tight end.
well, even before that, I think he may have played a bit of receiver. I don't know. I could be wrong there.
Well, there's the ultimate move in. Receiver, tight end, centre.
Very good centre though. Very got great football IQ, which I mean to play centre, you really do need that because you're almost like a second quarterback in terms of the reads you got to make.
Spent a year off playing to coach the Stingrays Blue, I think, for a season.
Yep.
A couple seasons ago. Just sharpening the football IQ.
So can't make out who we've got back returning now. Now that Smith's not there.
Tristan back and to be announced. I think it's Sean Darty. Yes, it is in fact the running back Sean Darty. Thought there might have been a fake there, but Tristan back circles around the other side of the field. Still no tackle, and eventually, hasn't this been exciting? Jaden Paludan taking him down.
Those two have just been at it all day, haven't they? Doesn't matter now. It's in special teams as well.
Oh, then a couple more Colts jumping onto the field for the Stingrays there. Jack Rithadech, big name defensive player for the Stingrays Colts on special teams on the right side there.
Difficult call there for Perkins about where he's going to kick to, having those just the playmakers that the Thunder have got that they're putting back in the return game.
That being said, he's probably won that battle so far. I mean, this one's inside the 20.
Coverage there was good.
The last time he had that awkward kick that back had to catch on his knees.
Yeah.
That was inside 20, so Perkins doing a good job on the kickoff tonight. First down and 10, ball on the Thunder 15. Corwin has thrown a 99-yard pass today. Will he try to equal that effort to Mike Jones, who's behind the coverage? Mike Jones taking on Jamal Sinapati. Sinapati will eventually take him down, but not before Jones takes it inside the 10.
Incredible ability there, Tommy Corwin. Oh, and it's coming back.
Oh, we just heard the groans from
we know what
the
that is.
Thunder sideline. And there's a flag deep behind the line of scrimmage. He did dance around for a little while there, Tommy Corwin, and the O-line. Well, let's see if we can catch it on the backside there. That looks all good for me, so it makes me believe that it...
You might be headed to the line again.
Or is it possibly?
I don't know. It's fair discussion going on there.
Is there anyone in this league better than extending the play and keeping their eyes downfield? Obviously, you got Jared Stegman back in the league, and we got to pay him his due respects. He's as fine as they come as far as quarterback goes, and of course, Malloy was great at it back when he was playing quarterback. But
another legal forward pass.
So both quarterbacks now with a pass in front of the line of scrimmage. Corwin's not putting up too much of a battle, I think, so he's probably accepting the possibility of it. So a Huge pass, close to 70 yards, wiped off. Legal forward pass. Stingrays survived that blow. Now it's second and long. Out to the sideline now. Back to Mike Jones after he just caught the last pass. And he's absolutely drilled as he catches this pass. And on the coverage, number 37, who is...
27, wasn't it?
27?
Yeah.
Yes, you're exactly right. Josh McAlpine. Just as I was giving these lights credit. Calling twos, threes.
Expect Corwin to go back to the well here on that seam route again.
Well, they'll have to need it on third and long. But third and 12, a ball back on the Thunder 15, or Thunder 14 even. Protection solid for now, and then he's taken down again. That very well could have been Nicholas Lawson.
So just the Hankies a holding penalty.
Which will be declined if that is the case. Trying to catch the number of the sacker. Actually, probably was Carroll again. Lewis Carroll getting in for his second sack. It was a holding penalty declined by the Stingrays, and that'll be fourth down. A very good defensive stand for the Stingrays after not giving up what they thought was a field position flipping play.
Oh, it's an amazing difference. A penalty here and there can make in the momentum of the game. Like Stingrays score and tie it up. Seems like the Thunder have hit straight back and gets called back, and now the Rays have got their tails up.
It's back to punt. Punts, it's blocked from who else? Damian Malloy. He tries to scoop it for the touchdown, can't get possession of it, but I think this will be a safety. And he's winded. We'll see this on replay. He's copped that straight to the breadbasket.
Oh.
And
That would not have tickled.
not at all. And Malloy, famous for his special teams play. You were just telling me an anecdote at the start of or during halftime about some of his special teams antics, but there he is getting a block and giving the Stingrays the lead, if I am correct.
I don't know. I may have missed it. I'm assuming they've signalled a safety.
Well,
The Thunder are getting ready to kick.
So can confirm that. That is a safety for the Gold Coast Stingrays. 2 points to the score. 22-20 now. It's a safety that breaks the level score for a very brief period. Makes up for the missed PAT earlier.
Now we've got Kluger and Gardner back returning.
Well, we've been talking about Tristan back and Sean Darty back to return. These guys are no slouches either. Well, trying to find...
In fact, no, maybe
nope,
just
changing it up.
maybe just Colin Kluger's going to be back for return.
Colin Kluger and Reese Perkins back. And they're not showing a whole lot of respect for the kickoff unit. They are back on their own 30. I expect this kickoff to at least be dribbling down to the 20. Remember, it's a safety, so that means the kicking team has the option to kick it either via punt or off a tee, and Tristan Back will punt it. And all shows how much I know there. This is going to fall well short of my expectations.
Ball.
It's a live ball picked up from Reese Perkins. Reese Perkins isn't touched yet nor downed, and he is running down the left-hand side of the field and will be taken down and is still driving. The blood is low, not over here at Griffith University, and this is taken down inside the 20. Oh, disastrous result there for the Griffith University Thunder.
You see that the ball, half the guys out there don't know if it's live, if it's not. You can hear both sidelines screaming out to get on it. Reese grabs hold of it and then finds his way up the sideline and then moves the pile to get down to inside the red zone, I think.
Well, fascinating decision to go for the punt there. If you are going to punt, you're going with a deliberate decision to get some torque behind it, to get some distance. That didn't look like a chance to try to get it back. Keep in mind, if you do punt it, the other team can, if they catch it, thus nullifying the opportunity to get that ball back. A very curious decision in my eyes there to go with the punt rather than the kickoff. Pump fake, but now Tonga Kilo has the entire left side of the field on his own, and he'll truck it forward and take those yardage. just shy of a first down.
I think Lance seems fairly happy with the idea. If it's not there, he's happy to back himself with his legs. It's the old John Gruden saying of take it or take it away. And at the moment, it doesn't seem like there's anyone in Spy to try and prevent him from doing that in passing situations.
Well, maybe there should be. The man scored 2 touchdowns, one of which a very long one, over 30 yards. The ball is on the Thunder 10, 2nd and 4. Pitch out to Gardner. Gardner's met early in the backfield. Shakes the tackle, though. Now he's racing defenders to the sideline there. Gets it past the line of scrimmage, but not by much.
I don't know who that was at end for the Thunder, but he got off his block way too easily there into the backfield. I mean, he didn't make the tackle, but certainly slowed Gardner down a little bit there.
Forced him to continue on his trajectory out wide. It was Ferguson who is apparently playing both ways for this Thunder outfit. This Thunder outfit, I might add, the list a lot shorter than the one they gave me last year. Considerable numbers missing. 3rd and short. And they'll pass and it'll hit Paludan for a touchdown. Backs had him knitted up all game, but he finally springs free for a 1-yard touchdown and adds to the lead.
Well, I think we talked before about that matchup between those two, and we said that both guys are going to make plays throughout the game. So that's Jaden's chance to get one back on Tristan.
Yeah, well, Tristan's managed to keep those long touchdowns off the board, and long catches off the board from Jaden Paludan, but 1 yard out, he runs that slant and he makes the catch without mistake. A chance here to make this a 2-possession game. Last PAT blocked. Hold is awkward, but it's good. And the kick is unsuccessful wide right. There, maybe the hold not as good as I gave it credit for, and they push that kick wide to the right, and this leaves it an 8-point ball game there. Of course, the successful PAT would have made it 2 possessions.
In an unrelated matter, Stingray's holding open tryouts for kickers this week.
Can't say that, mate. He's had a fantastic first half.
I can say it as to how accurate it is.
28-20. Probably deep into the third. Obviously no official clock here. So we are trying to get word from any officials. The side judge. About time remaining. But the important fact is the Stingrays have an 8-point lead in a game that has been back and forth. Both teams sharing time with the lead. Okay.
And Rex Perkins has been cut.
Perkins has been cut. I didn't think his kickoffs were all that bad, but this time they're going with a kick and they don't even go with a key. They kick it straight to back. Hasn't been problematic for him too badly so far. This time back corralled, but he bounces out. Now he's got space to the right-hand sideline with blockers in front. He'll be cut down short, and is that Jaden Paludan, the safety man, the back blocker, preventing anything big from happening on kick return?
I think regardless of the outcome of this game, I think watching those two go at it today has been an absolute highlight.
Well, the highlight of the Sun Bowl last year was a matchup, as I mentioned earlier, Chiam James against Tristan Back. Tristan Back has a habit of becoming the
He's a big game player.
the matchup player for people. And he's come a long way. At one point, he was just a deep threat receiver. I remember a particular game on, I think it was Wildcats TV at the time there, where he beat the Ravens down the middle of the field for 2 long plays, and that's pretty much the only gimmick he had. He's very much evolved since then. Darty in the backfield with Corwin. 1st down and 10, ball on the Thunder 31. And it's Darty again. Hasn't he been sneaky tonight? Picking up a big chunk of yardage. And again, getting close to that 1st down marker. Waiting for a confirmation. I think that's Shawnee Wilson on the down counter today. And that is another 1st down run. He's picking up a half-decent average. Started slow, back-to-back carries to start the game for a loss. And since then, he's been picking up over 9 yards a carry.
I think we're starting to see the effect of that massive offensive line starting to overpower the Rays front 7 a little bit.
28-20, 1st down. Ball on the Thunder 43. This is a completion to Tristan Back, who beats his first defender and moves the chain once again. 2 plays, 2 first downs.
believe it was Damien Malloy in on the stop again.
That time beating his former clubman, Subin. First down and 10, ball, as you can see on screen right there. Just trying to make sure. I think that white line's actually the rugby league line, so it's on the...
Oh, yeah, that's a good trick, isn't it?
On the 35, and this is a nice tackle here from the Stingrays, taking down Duddy at the line of scrimmage. And is that Ryan Newton getting up from that?
It was.
That's and no, it isn't. Not Newton's coming down from the... He was handled the line of scrimmage. It's Jack Rithodetch, the youngster. He's actually playing some corner, plays outside linebacker at Colt level. Moved to the outside at corner. Interesting. I mean...
Good play recognition there, though, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. But Jack Rithodetch, I haven't seen him. I guess I have kind of seen him play some in-the-box safety at the junior level, but really an edge player.
That's a big step up to come here and do that, though.
Cool, but that's been the ongoing process of blooding these Colts players. They find themselves that Jordan Appy did some time at corner, and he's come through as Corwin slides to prevent contact, and Garrett Griffith is not happy with something. And we'll see if we can get a replay on that to see exactly what's going on with Garrett Griffith. He's not happy with it.
I think from what I saw, it went both ways. Mike Jones grabbed hold of someone, and so they grabbed back. And yeah, we're only hearing one side of the story down here.
we are on one sideline. So as far as the referees are, they said it was good enough to play on, and if McCullough commentator Bolt says so, I'll ride that train too. Third down and 4, ball on the Stingrays at 26. Short pass almost intercepted. McAlpine almost
up in the second half.
Well, he's had to. He's had some competition. Tristan Back thought that ball was coming straight to him. And drives on that ball very nicely.
Good play recognition.
So ball remains on the...
Fourth down, this will be interesting.
The Gold Coast 27. 28, in fact.
I'm going to call a Tommy Corwin read option up the middle.
We haven't really seen too much of that tonight. Let's see if they go to it. Darty will be his read option partner if that's the case. And we've got the youngster and Tom Ferguson jumping offside here, but we've also had a defensive player jump, so let's see how they call this. We've got Corwin and Malloy debating up a storm. This is something that should be televised. Let's get some mics on those. Imagine miking up those two in one of these.
Got 7-second delay.
And, well, the argument there is that the defensive player that did jump in no way should have influenced the receiver making...
well, he wasn't lined up over him, so...
Exactly right.
It's a fair statement.
So, Malloy wins that battle. We've seen how they compete on the football team. Let's get them on a debate team and see how that goes. Jeez, I'd watch that. Here's where you're starting seeing the leadership of Damien Malloy come into frame. So that moves him back now. The ball is now on the Stingrays 32. And they'll have 7 yards to convert on this fourth down. Trailing by 8 points. 28-20. Corwin under pressure early, but gets a ball out over the head of Back. Incomplete. And that'll be a turnover on downs. The Gold Coast Stingrays, they survived that drive, and they'll jump back on the ball with not only possession, but 8 points in the pocket.
Again, that reiterates that importance of, if you can't reach home in terms of the blitz or the edge rush, at least creating the perceived pressure in the pocket. Because, good route, right read, but just that little bit of pressure off the backside, off the left tackle there. Sees that ball sail a bit, turnover on downs.
First down and 10 now for the Gold Coast Stingrays. Again, on their own 32. And it's Lance Tonga Kilo finding plenty of space, tripped up and taken down around halfway. It looks like he's gotten into Thunder territory. They'll have first and 10 on the Thunder 43.
couple of really good key blocks there. So he had Jonah Gardner get the seal on the outside backer, pushing him outside, but also at left tackle, Hitz Williams getting the seal on the DN, pushing him inside. So you basically got a wall of blue either side. Gives LT the ability to turn upfield.
LT back in, waiting for the ball. Looking to pass, dumping over the middle. Is that a tire on the reception? It almost looked like he didn't expect that to be thrown to him there, but he gets his hands up last second and takes us for a first down.
Great catch, great run there by James Hobby.
Oh, Hobby isn't, my apologies.
Yeah,
Not
James
Nataya.
Hobby. Again, I've obviously been at Ray's practice a lot this year and whatever, but yeah, I'm pretty certain he was turned up this week and filled in the paperwork. So
86, yeah, sorry, not 86, not 84 there. My apologies, Mr. Hobby. But yeah, dead set. He finished his crossing around and thought the ball wasn't coming to him. And the next
last time I
minute,
saw him
right
in the
there.
field was a couple of weeks ago playing the Ghost game.
There you go. Maybe that was enough to get him back. Gardner breaks the first tackle and gets hit low and upended there by Patelisio.
Another solid run there by Gardner. Just got to be mindful of that ball security. Seems to be holding a bit like a loaf of bread out there at times. When he's trying to go for the big fend.
Rugby league background. I do wonder, we haven't seen JT in the second half there, James Taylor.
It hasn't returned since he went off with that after he took that hit earlier on.
Yeah, and I know he changed jerseys, but in any case, back to Tonga Kilo. Tonga Kilo not liking his first read, and it almost seems like the game plan is if your first read's there, throw it. If not, take off with it. This time, it probably works in favour of the Thunder.
Yeah, good contain there by the Thunder. Obviously aware of the play breaking downs. Got out into the edge there to try and keep him in, kept him east-west. You know, good coverage there. Brings up the third down.
And I was going to say that it's such a three-headed monster, James Taylor, Tonga Kilo, and Gardner. Right now, it's the two of those three heads more than doing the job right now. They can almost just run a veer if they wanted to between the running threats they have. Tonga Kilo looking for a pass on third down, bombing it over the middle, but to who?
Whoa.
Because there wasn't a soul within 10 yards of that ball.
Miscommunication there by the looks of it. Expecting someone on the post.
Clearly, it was a wrong number or a wrong route. Everyone's coming back wondering if that was for them. And in any case, on third down, that's an incomplete pass. So fourth and
Hey, Damien
three.
Malloy's just checked into the game too.
Well, you have a tendency when Malloy's on the ball. When the game's on the line, he'll find a way onto the field.
100% correct. Not afraid to call his own number.
I still,
Even when
remember,
he's told not to.
I still remember when he called himself into defensive back and got a game-winning pick there against Jared Stegman against the Rhinos a couple of years ago. In any case, he's running the post now. Now there's someone within range of it. It was Malloy, but not quite there. Still about 3 yards long for Malloy, so on fourth down, that's a turnover. And this time the Thunder, they'll survive a drive without sacrificing any points. And they'll begin the chase for the 8-point gap once again.
Interesting defensive front that the Thunder came out with there. Essentially went cover zero, stacked the box. Whether that was to try and create some perceived pressure or to throw
I think it's almost just a...
lanes off. It seemed to work.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to protect the running lanes and get Lance to throw, and it's not a bad logic right now. Lance Tonga, it looks like he still needs a little bit of work on his passing game, and that's going to be something that will develop over the next 13 weeks or next 12 weeks now. He may be an inexperienced quarterback, but as experienced as they come as a football player, he will learn very quickly. Corwin, though, has played quarterback his entire life. Loads it long for... Oh, I thought he might have short-armed that there back, but probably was still too long for him there. He had a man completely open because the man defending him is down with cramp. I would get cramp too trying to chase back for 3 quarters.
Didn't see who that was. I don't know if that's... Was it Kluger? I think it might be.
He's trying to get
I'm not sure if it was cramp or whether the sniper got him, whether it was a hamstring.
the leg is strong.
Well, looking at that, it looks like it might be cramp.
Well, there's Dr. Taylor out there looking after him. Made the move to jersey 22.
It was about the first time we've seen him this half.
Well, he got his ears burning, so we hadn't seen him all off. Making his appearance, not exactly in the fashion we thought it would, but nevertheless, medical expertise is very much valued. I'm hearing some screams from the other side of the field. I don't know if it's from him.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay, we thought we heard some screams earlier with the cut to
Yeah.
Cameron Smith. This is
Yeah, this is gone from
something.
being
This is reminiscent.
potential hamstring to
Just, I've only heard worse in horror movies.
certainly sounds like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we thought it might be
Okay.
just cramp, and by all means, we know how painful cramp can be, so it very well could be. But in the meantime, we'll take another injury timeout, as we still haven't even got the player's number, in fact. Someone down, we suspect, based on...
I think it's number 82, Colin Klugler.
Probably now a good time to remind everyone who might be new to the game, hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Absolutely, get those electrolytes in. Hydrolyte's fantastic for it.
Not that this is...
Not that it's a paid
Not
presentation.
not that this production is brought to you by Hydrolyte or Gatorade. It could be.
Yeah, if they want to throw us some free product. Yeah.
Another break in play. We've seen a couple of instances where play has been stopped today, and some horrific ones. Our thoughts are with Amy Henry, with a suspected dislocated ankle.
Yeah.
And we all know how hard she's worked to get back onto the playing field, so we do hope it's another speedy recovery for Miss Henry.
We've lost Cameron Smith from this game earlier for the Thunder.
This horrendous cut to the webbing of his right hand. Somebody tells me you don't deal with blood very well, mate.
I'm not a massive fan of that, no. It just sounds,
Yeah, from
painful. And
from what I told, there was a nice pool of blood happening around where it happened.
Oh, excellent. Interesting to see what Tommy Corwin does from here.
Well, yeah, especially if that was the main man covering back, and they're going to cycle down to the next man up. Have to imagine he's going to take a few more shots.
Well, they clearly like that matchup already because they've taken those shots a few times. So, I think that's only going to encourage him further, to be honest.
Well, they've called the troops in to try and carry him off the field now. No surprise that it's a bunch of linemen willing to help a teammate out. There's James Hobby there, having a laugh. Looks like he's ready to play another season.
Jesse Sharp's out there at the moment. I noticed he wasn't on the field though the last drive the Stingrays offense was on there, so I wasn't sure if he had an injury or not. I know he's been carrying a couple during the off-season.
I want our offensive line not carrying injuries, mate.
That's very fair.
When we do come back, it will be a second down for the Thunder. The first down pass to Beck incomplete.
There's had a couple of plays so far from the Thunder that sort of indicate what Tommy hinted at during the week, that they've got a few things in the bag. But outside of that, I mean, a lot of what they've run has been very similar to what we're used to seeing, both from last week and the end of last season. So I'm curious to see what else he's got there, because he made it pretty clear that he's got some things specially designed just for the Stingrays, and thought that we'd be massive fans of them. So
If I don't see a double reverse pass, I'll be very disappointed.
or a flea flicker,
Something.
fake punt pass.
Dr. James coming out with the electrolytes, the aforementioned electrolytes now. I did hear a call for someone to get salt as well. So this must be some crazy cramps. But in all seriousness, as GQ comes to the summer months, I believe we are leaving winter, as of tomorrow.
Doesn't feel like it up here just at the moment.
Not quite at this very moment, but summer will come, and it will come with a vengeance. And playing this sport with all its pads, and especially with the teams with darker jerseys, that can really take a toll there, and you really start noticing when you don't hydrate. And so do keep ahead of that.
I think a lot of the 2014 Sun Devil team learnt the very hard way about the value of electrolytes and hydration in the first game against ACT out at Waco in just horrendous conditions. But I know that week at practice there was a lot of us that were just we were still suffering from heat stroke and the likes.
Yeah, some of those. Just checking some of the comments there, and for Clark Vorhauer, yes, indeed, Lance at quarterback. That is correct. Tonga Kilo, QB1 for the Gold Coast Stingrays. I did wonder, and obviously John Curry was a man last year, couldn't stay healthy for a whole lot of it. His whereabouts for 2019?
I'm not 100% sure on that, to be honest. I've seen a few posts from him that he's been overseas.
Yeah, probably taking
some time off.
take the opportunity to travel. Completely endorse that. And John Rowe, Coach Rowe, watching in Hollywood Rowe, admiring the Tommy Corwin to Mike Jones catch. Unfortunately, brought back because he was in front of the line of scrimmage. Rhinos president Graham Spur on the stream now. Nicole Roberts, mother of Griffin Roberts, who's now in the collegiate scene.
There we go.
Finally carried off. He's got the human stretcher there, and that was...
Still can't see what number it is.
No, it's Jack Rithadech,
Oh.
the youngster. Young Jack Rithadech, the Colt, playing up. Well, that probably makes a lot more sense. The man has played a full game of Colts football earlier in the day.
Hey, it was fairly warm earlier too.
It was a little bit warmer yesterday, so that probably makes a lot more sense. A bit of context there, shedding a bit of light. And we are hearing some of the officials that his calf was rock hard, is the words he used.
You feel for the guy.
Well, that is the risk of playing multiple games. You've got to look after your body if you're going to back up. In any case, back in the action at hand. It's a handoff to Darty. Darty's met a solid blue wall there at the line. Maybe picked up half a yard if he's lucky.
Great work by the Stingrays D-line there to get off the blocks and just fill gaps so well. I don't know if it's just from where we're sitting, but it just looks like those A-gaps are really wide open for the Thunder. Now, whether that's by design or they're trying to, encourage them with that, I'm not sure. But, yeah, I've noticed tonight.
We're getting another medic. We've got another player down. It's a Stingray player on this haunches.
So if the medics were paid by consignment today, they'd be doing fairly well out of this.
Well, it's another DB. It's Lagerstrom, a new face to the Stingrays.
We might have to rotate Malloy back out to DB.
I think they might have to. James Taylor might have to fill in at Mike Backer. 3rd down and 10 now. We've had a deep incompletion. We've had a stuff at the line now. 3rd down ball on the Thunder. 22. Looking for 10 yards. Jones in the left slot. They're looking for back once again. Corwin rolls out. Corwin's going to back himself, is he? Throws it and directs traffic and gets it to Tristan back. That's some Madden 2004 stuff right there.
Great awareness there by Tommy Corwin. Order to stay composed with the pursuit, direct traffic, gets off a good ball.
Paul Miller's capturing that moment lovely there. He's told back to work his way back inside, and that's exactly what he does, or what he did, and they convert on 3rd and 10. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter, an extended 3rd quarter there, based on the few injuries that delayed play there. So into the final quarter of play now. The Stingrays, the visiting Stingrays, they lead 28 points to 20 here in week 3. And, well, they have the ball. They are driving, and they're chasing 8 points.
I think we'll see Tommy stick with what's been working so far. Wouldn't be shocked here on first down if we see them take a shot deep again. I mean, it's been there. He's just overthrown a couple. So.
And they haven't been afraid to. And I think he's happy to test the fitness of Tristan back against all these DBs. Not afraid to send him long.
We've got him down in front of us here now. So.
And he's coming off a season of junior college over at Snow College. So certainly came back to preseason in shape. And this time it'll be Darty, and Waters will take him down. Walters with a tackle there. Now, talk to me about Jackson Walters. I feel like he's been quite the veteran now. It's been a good couple of years over in Nerang for Jackson Walters.
Yeah, he's been around for a couple of years. He was part of the state campaign last year for AGL, playing on the defensive line. Certainly has applied himself fantastically in terms of learning from guys like Lance and from Rhino and people like that. And he's just a sponge. He takes on anything. And you probably recall from the semi-final last year, he even filled in at right tackle for us. And again, that was off one practice session, 1 hour of work with us, and he was able to fill in quite well there.
Well, here he is there at right end, once again in that sprinter stance. Corwin with two backs to protect him, but it might not be enough. It is enough.
Good
it's caught
ball.
there. Is that Ferguson or? It is Tom Ferguson making a tough catch there, and Corwin stands tough in the pocket.
Yeah, it was a veteran move there by Tommy, knowing that he's going to take the hit, but you know what? He's just got to deliver the catchable ball, throw it to his boy Ferguson, that he's been talking up this week. Delivers a great ball there to get the first down.
It's actually the man who laid the hit on Corwin, who came off looking a little gingerly, and Daniel Coyle. First down and 10. This is turning into a pretty solid drive for the Griffith University Thunder. He's got back one-on-one on the right side if he wants him. That's the way he's rolling. He's under pressure, though. Will throw underneath, and a shot taken there by Corey Jones. These DBs know how to punish the men from the Gold Coast.
Good sportsmanship there from Malloy as well, helping up Jones, despite, the fact we talked about before about those two not being afraid of a bit of a chat. They know it's all in friendly fun.
Deep down, I think they really respect each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Second down and 10. Trying to get their first win of the season early in the fourth. Down by 8, 20 points to 28. Stingrays in the lead. Second down. Trying to hit one of his receivers. Eventually gets the back. It actually had two receivers running the same pattern there.
Wonder if that was a design concept or whether it was a miscommunication or...
I think also because they were on the short side there. Sometimes the spacing with the receivers
makes it difficult.
It's tangled up a little bit. And I think that might have been a little bit of a stick concept going on that left-hand side. Inside player dragging a bit too far into back's territory. In any case, they did make a catch, made some yards out of it. You got third and a long 4. Corwin wants something out left. It's back, and back knows where the first down yard marker is and collects it nicely. Another chain-moving play, that time on third down.
It's a very solid drive that the Thunder are putting on here. Oh, wow.
Back, they're arguing about where it went out here. This is going to be fourth down. Okay, well, I think Back thought he was going to get the point where he caught it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't touched, so when he ran backwards there, he actually, that's running backwards of his own volition. He's taking it inside there, so that's not a third down conversion. We've got 4th and inches.
Did notice Damien Malloy was over there pointing that out to the sides judge.
Of course he was. Knows all the rules, Malloy. If we've got Dr. JT, we've got Lawyer Malloy. Also was a safety. And this is Corwin calling his own number. Jukes back inside. It's enough. It's more than enough. Where did that come from? Tommy Corwin, not ready to hang up the boots, nor the scrambling boots. He takes this for a TD. We've got some Thunder players down, but nevertheless, 26-28, 2-point conversion to come.
That is incredible. I couldn't believe it. To start, it was like, wow, I didn't agree with the play call. I thought they were in trouble. Tommy bounces off a tackle, keeps his legs moving, rumbles in for the touchdown.
And Malloy might have won the debate about that placement, but that time Corwin wins the battle.
He just doesn't know when to quit, does he? Never gives up.
And I thought he'd been wrapped up there. He'd been forced to go wide, and he cuts it back. And he has this cutback that seems to beat everybody. And they're going for 2 to try and level it here. After the Corwin rushing touchdown, they're going to go fade to back, and it is incomplete. The coverage there from number 27 in Josh McAlpine, who's actually made a good couple of plays through the air. He's done very well.
I do feel sorry for the Thunder players this week with film review, though. I suggest that touchdown run from Corwin's going to be put on loop repeatedly. So anyone who follows him on social media, I suggest he's probably going to see it a lot too.
Very well could have. Well, that touchdown gets them close, but the failed 2-point conversion keeps them separated. The Stingrays, they do enough there to hold on to the lead. We're looking to be close to 3-4 minutes into the fourth quarter. No official clock here, so we are hazarding a guess.
I'm going to suggest it could be one of those the onside attempts that they tried earlier, where they tried to kick it to space and put it in front of a gunner. I wouldn't be shocked if they try and run that here.
Let's see how confident they do feel.
The Rays seem to be looking for it and making sure that everyone's up on the front line.
And this time they go to the ground. This one almost successful. It took a friendly Thunder bounce, but Johnny on the spot is Blake Hatchman jumping on that ball. Look at this on the replay.
Oh,
That's, as a kicker, that's a perfect onside kick.
it is. After making the commentary about where they kicked the space, I looked and went, well, the Rays have got the hands unit out there, so they're obviously expecting something, and it almost went awry.
First down and 10 now following that failed onside kick. Tonga Kilo's back. Could do with another touchdown. Gardner's met immediately, but is strong enough to roll this forward. Picks up a yard for his trouble.
It shows this incredible strength he's got. I mean, the guy's got on the back of his jersey, he's still making yards. I made the comment before about I wasn't sure what happened with Jesse Sharp and whether he was injured. He's actually moved into guards. It looks like maybe there's an issue with Anthony Dorrell. The Stingrays' right guard is not out there at the moment.
Well, got to be adaptable, particularly in Gridiron Queensland. And Tonga Kilo with the speed option. Got it back, but well, depending on where they mark this, though, that could be a really productive run.
Yeah, it looked like they had him pinned in, but he seems to have he's cut inside or just kept the legs churning, and the O-line's giving him a good push. I'm not sure.
I think that's probably a fair spot by the time they called him down. That'll be third down. 3 yards to go. 3rd and 3.
It's really 2 downs territory here as well.
You would think so, based on the history of the play calling. They'll hand this to Gardner. Gardner, it won't get the first down. They will have to go to 4th down. That's a good stop by the Thunder. Main man in the stop there is Asiata.
Good awareness there by their front 7. Again, loaded the box. It's an obvious situation, 2 down situation. Given the tight game, likely they're going to run it. Good play call there.
Already getting warnings from the Thunder sideline about hard count. All right, a big play. What could be a key play in this 4th quarter? And there's a hard count, but
wow,
it might be hits Williams.
Well, take your pick, or you put that one on.
Yeah, we might have to.
Very undisciplined.
Well, Thunder is onside. Ooh, it's close, but probably happy to call that. And then.
Oh well, it's might have a fair argument there. The guy over him moved.
But did he move into the neutral zone?
That's the issue. Who moved first?
They're going to go false start.
So they're still going for it here.
No changes. But they might have it. Let's see what play they're dialed up. They're going downfield. They're going to go for Jaden Paludan, who comes up with a fantastic catch.
That is clutch.
He has been hemmed in, but when they've needed him most, he's produced. He grabs a chain mover on that particular play right in front of our camera.
Look at this pass from Lance as well. Like, just sits back there, loops it out in front of his guy. A little bit overthrown, but adjusts fantastically in the air. That's a great catch.
It's been a 1 yard touchdown and now a chain moving catch there for Pelyton.
Fourth down too, just quietly.
They're feeling it now. The Stingrays stands tall in the pocket and is almost caught and almost picked. Pass intended there to James Hobby.
Lance taking a lesson from Tom Corwin there, standing in the pocket and absorbing the hit. Ball's in the right spot, just, couldn't pull it in.
Just more sideline banter from the sideline. I've just heard someone yell out, "How old is that guy?" Second down and 10. Ball on the Thunder 25. And a rugby league dummy for Tonga Kilo before he just takes a hit up there. And he'll truck forward for 4 yards on first down. Or second down. Now third. Looking at 3rd and 6.
That's like we were saying before. You can afford to make those play calls when you're in a situation like this. You got the lead. You know, you're driving to inside the 20. It's 4 down territory.
And I know the last couple of kicks might not suggest that, but if they can get close enough, don't be surprised if they look for a Reese Perkins field goal.
No comment.
I'll back you, Reese. Pelyton here in the right slot this time. They moved from outside to inside. But they're going to throw to the outside, and it's well, what are they going to call here? A catch or a...
The side judge is not... Yeah, he's called
He's going to call the catch there.
Is that Riku?
Riku Hataya was on the outside there. Thunder was adamant that was incomplete.
They're in. The Stingrays are hurrying up to get the huddle in and to get a
Oh,
call.
look, it's a 50-50 call there. He gets his hands underneath, but whether he uses the ground to assist that. Thunder are not happy.
Mr. Turf may be credited to a catch there.
An assist. 28-26, trying to ice it. Oh, the Stingrays. They'll hand it to Gardner. Gardner spins out of the first tackle attempt and moves the chains.
Another 4th down conversion. Wow.
And they are happy to play this 4 downs at a time.
Thunder need to, obviously need to make a big stop here. You know, it's because this is the point now. Okay, yeah, sure, you might stop them on 4th down here. You got a long way to go.
You certainly do, and if nothing else, they're taking time off the clock.
Yeah.
Gardner again met early, but again breaks a tackle, breaks another, slips up, and it is the effort from Asiata that eventually downs him.
Good work there by Hitch Williams too. Seals out that block, keeps working hard, and then goes in to try and help out at the end of the play too. Guy never stops working.
And a timeout there to the Thunder. Garrett Griffith once again. First off, he took a timeout. Once his team entered this type of territory, wants his defense to regroup. Now he understands that a stop here is imperative.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, not only is this drive chewing a lot of time off the clock as well, but you don't want to give your offense time to get the ball back because you are still down by 2. So you need to at least get into field goal range and give Jones a chance to pinch the win.
And, well, Jones proved that he can kick PATs. Closer and closer they are, just effectively into PAT distance. And it's only been really a change in the last couple of years that we have seen the possibility of game-winning field goals.
I think you see now, you mentioned before, they're almost at end goal, just outside the 10, second down. I expect to see they'll probably try and run it twice here, keep it in the middle of the field, then 4th down, bring out Reese Perkins, kick the field goal, make it a touchdown score. So, it takes that field goal risk off the table.
Exactly right. Ball on the Thunder 11 now, 2nd and 7. Coming out of the timeout. Tonga Kilo looking for the end zone. One in the end zone to Pelyton!
Wow.
And that is a nice catch there. 3 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 1 4th down conversion.
He's had a crazy day, but also I think good awareness here by Lance as well. Realised that Beck wasn't carrying him. I wasn't covering him. Sorry. Pretty like that matchup, and yeah, hit him in the fade. The post in the middle of the end zone.
Nathan Ashton Miles assigned the responsibility of trying to cover him there, and it's no easy task, but it just shows you how good of a job that Beck was doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Paludan. Paludan pretty much, if you gave him single coverage at Junior Nats just earlier this year, he was turning him into long touchdowns. And there he is now in the left slot. Hobby and Hataya outside him. Napier on his own to the right-hand side. They want Napier. They won't get Napier.
Look
Who's
there.
Interesting now. Let's see. Well, depending on how the rest of they'll play dictates whether they move back onto Jaden Paludan.
So we just had Tommy Corwin here just to get a score check from us.
34-26.
It's had an outstanding day today. Plus, was part of the 40-0 win they had earlier in the day as well. I think he only played the first half there by memory because their coach made some adjustments at half time. But yeah, he's had a hell of a day here too.
Well, Stingrays poised to do the unthinkable, go for 5 in a row. I believe would be the case here. But it'll be Colt trying to keep the drive alive. Obviously, with Coach Nguyen stepping away from football for this year.
Yeah.
And they're in a good position. They've got some returning players. Gorka Watchapari in the junior ranks still there to run the show, but also
he played very well today too. Played the second half of QB. Most of outstanding throws. Really like the way the poise he shows in the pocket, the way he throws.
Absolute sport for choice though, because then their other quarterback is Kenan Tompkins, who's the two state quarterbacks. So obviously, Tanning Thompson's moving up from the junior division.
Wow.
Junior Duddy picks it up on the one hop, cuts it back, and possibly had more space to the left-hand side, but went to the center of the field. Tommy Corwin not happy with that decision.
Great coverage there.
Well, the Thunder now. They're chasing. Well, here's the thing. They're still only a touchdown away.
Down 8.
8 points.
That was the question Tommy asked after that score. Came over and was like, was it 8? Yep.
I was a little surprised they didn't bring in Reese Perkins for the.
Wow.
That shows you that the last block PAT, and then obviously the
must be playing on the mind.
One out to the right there. They've decided they wanted to back themselves on a 2-point conversion. Denied. 8 points the difference. 34-26. Thunder in possession now. Caught to Ferguson. Ferguson showing that he's plenty of young talent willing to go snag the ball there.
Certainly lived up the billing as well today after Tommy gave him great reps. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from him today. I think he's going to be a bright star in the league.
I think everyone agreed, proving that he's a solid possession receiver, catching a lot of passes underneath.
Runs very good routes, just good separation, great hands.
And of course, he's still quite on the young side, so he could certainly physically develop as the years go on, and he had a few more hitches to his belt there of what he can offer as a wide receiver. Pass over the middle. Caught there by Corey Jones.
Just at the
4:04. Just checking. I think it was the time I heard.
4:04. Yep. You just feel that Tommy Corwin just lives for these situations. It's nothing he hasn't seen before, having played at other levels overseas and in the US. He just seems so calm and collected out there.
The benefits of a veteran quarterback. Pump fakes, looking for Ferguson deep, and it just out of reach. Ferguson.
Good route, good ball, just a little bit too much on it.
Ferguson working on Colin Kugler there, and he had him. Pass not tight enough for him to bring in though. Trying to get the old hitch and go.
Now again, well run route. That's an interesting substitution. LT just been substituted into 3-tech.
Well, it's where he made his money. Now he's going to try and finish this game, and
wow.
He immediately gets some pressure, but not enough to stop this pass being completed.
Oh!
Damian Malloy getting close to ripping that out.
That was very close to coming out.
Some of these youngsters might not be wary of some of the veteranship coming around. Third down. 4 yards to go. The Stingrays completed 2 fourth-down conversions to eventually get their touchdown to give them what would be an 8-point lead, and that's our current deficit right now. For the Thunder, they'll need to possibly do a couple of those of their own. They'll hand it to Duddy. No, it'll be a keep himself to Corwin. Corwin calls his own number, and that will lead to a fourth down conversion attempt here.
Took a good lick there from Samuel Holloway too.
And it looks like it's to his throwing hand.
I think it'll take more than that to worry him. Oh.
Ooh, he's grabbing it.
I may be corrected there.
He's grabbing it. Actually, it might not be his throwing hand. It could actually be his left hand there. Well, he's back. It's not going to
key down here.
Fourth down conversion here. They need to equal the efforts of the Stingrays. Looking to the left, under pressure. He's still going. It's taken down.
Wow.
There, that'll end the drive.
Daniel Coyle comes up big.
A huge play that time. Coyle later looking him last time, but he actually came off second best. This time he gets a key sack, a drive-ending sack.
That is a great motor there by Coyle. Like, fought hard to get off the block, didn't give up, missed the first attempt, grabs the ankles. Outstanding.
You can see them working on Tavita Moala, the experienced center, but
I'm not convinced Coyle's not a rookie either.
Yeah, doesn't feel that way with the way he's that knee bend and that leverage. First down and 10. And we give to Gardner. Now the Gold Coast ball carriers have to be wary of the arms coming in, trying to punch that ball out.
Absolutely. The Rays ball carriers need to be aware that, you know, the Thunder need a turnover, as we see a timeout here. But also the offensive line, you know, they've got to finish this game off. They've got to do a better job of blocking that.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what came first, the 2-minute warning or the timeout. Corwin was adamant that he called it beforehand, therefore making the next play.
Yeah, that's a good point. The play would be the 2-minute warning.
Corwin, a stickler for the rules, like every good quarterback should be. But I'm still trying to wait for the official call. I haven't seen the 2-minute warning side nor a timeout signaled to the Thunder. I think they'd only have one remaining if that is a timeout there. They did call one on defense a couple of drives ago. Still not sure if this is a 2-minute warning. In any case, we know that it's
very close to that.
At least a couple seconds ahead of the 2-minute warning. And this will be Tonga Kilo running to the outside. Now he needs them to stay in bounds here. And he stays in bounds. They thought he'd run out. Now he will not only stay in bounds, but he moves the chains. And this will be incredibly hard now mathematically for the Thunder to get this ball back.
Agree, but mine goes back to the first quarter and Tommy's 89-yard touchdown pass. We know they've got it in them.
Well, there answers our question. The Thunder did get the timeout. There's the 2-minute warning. I actually imagine it's under 2 minutes, though, based on the duration of that play. So probably looking about 1:58.
It was great awareness by Lance there to stay in bounds, being pinned on the sideline there. And to
not only awareness, but strength.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one thing to want to stay in bounds when you take yourself that wide, but being able to do it. Another story. Inside 2 minutes now. Tonga Kilo will hand to Gardner. Gardner up the middle.
Oh.
Still has his ability to just spin out of tackles on first contact.
His strength is ridiculous.
Well, if memory serves correctly, he's a Kibra Park product, and that should be the third and final timeout by the Thunder. Inside 2 minutes now. They're going to need something freakish to get this ball back because it can't be too long before the Stingrays can start taking knees.
Well, they've got to stop them here on downs. But even then, you know, that's not going to leave them a lot of time based on, you know, what, we're second down now. So they get 2 shots at it. The fourth down will be a stoppage for the changeover.
For all intents and purposes, saving a a takeaway. If the Stingrays get a first down here, it's over.
It's over, yeah.
The Thunder last year came into the league as pretty much darkies. You know,
Absolutely.
they proved they can compete early, surprised a lot of people. Then the hype built as the season went on, and you could say they peaked right at the right time in the playoffs. But this time, everyone aware of their possibilities. They understand that they've got returning players. You've got Corwin, you've got Griffiths. Then their coaching, period,
While
is
they're
enough
there, it's always going to be a threat.
to put them back. Right now, the Stingrays, though, they have a chance to start their season 1-0. Tonga Kilo out to the right, hands on him, and he's immediately stuffed. They keep this possibility alive. Taking him down behind the line there is Jordan Scanlon, a big rookie. Jeez, he really is big. Look at him. Arm length. Jeez. Can't wait to see how he progresses after a season or two.
Absolutely. Good use of leverage there, good separation. Didn't allow the tackle to try and get his outside bicep. Got in and made the play.
Yeah, this probably won't be enough. If they get the ball back, it might be with literally time for one play. But right now, the Thunder sideline, well, let's just say it looks like they've accepted the result, but they're hoping for a miracle here. Tonga Kilo will throw and complete to Jaden Paludan for the first down. That is it. The game is more or less over here. Another clutch catch to Jaden Paludan.
He's come up so big so many times tonight.
Every catch, nothing has been abnormal about it. Everything's been abnormal and clutch about it. And every catch he's made today has had meaning.
It's incredible to see him take that AGL form and the amazing run he had there. Now come to club. Obviously played early today, played very well. Now to come here tonight and just to not miss a beat, it's unbelievable.
And to see him not only compete but dominate at the men's level just makes you think when he goes back to Colts, isn't that? Jeez, that's unfair.
It's not fair.
Not saying it's legal, just saying it's not fair. And there's a knee there from Lance Tonga Kilo.
Yep.
We are in the dregs of this game, a game that should see the first victory of the year to the Gold Coast Titans. Our Bull Raids is all that is keeping this game alive. And there it is, full time here, week 3. The Gold Coast Stingrays, well, in previous years, they've been criticised for their slow starts. This time last year, had a horrible start against the Bayside Ravens. They've turned that around a year later with a big victory over the defending champs, 34 points to 26. They've come in to Griffith University, and they've come away with a strong victory.
Look, it's going to be an incredible season, I think. We saw, obviously, the Ravens inflict their will last week, and then the Rhinos had a big win last week. Stingrays' first game this year, they've come out against the defending champions and got a win up here at Griffith. It's going to be a crazy season.
It certainly will. No one's really come out as the front runner. Perhaps the Rhinos once again with their 2 strong victories. The Thunder, they fall to 0-2 to start their title defense. And the Stingrays, well, coming off a bye on week 1, 34 points to 26 is a result of their preparation. I'm Kenny Andres. Thank you for your company throughout the 2 games today, both the women's and the men's Thunder versus Stingrays matchups here in week 3. Rhinos TV for the next couple of weeks before we're back with Gridiron Queensland action in round 5. And to my colour commentator here, my man in the box, Adam Bolton, thank you for joining me this evening.